KBHK TV 44 San Francisco.
From the terrifying universe of the inner mind to the outer reaches of the imagination, we're waiting, poised at the edge of our seats. Time stops as we approach the unknown. Just when we think we're safe, the moment happens, and we...
It's Saturday night, time for Gas Theater. Join me, Tom Labrie, for the best in late night fright.
Horror, suspense, mystery, science fiction, the supernatural. And now, sit back, relax if you can. You are about to enter the world of...
NPC the game.
Hey, what's going on? NPC the game, live from the back rooms of Taiwan. Good evening in the wilderness of North America. It's Friday night. It's Saturday morning. I'm Marty McFly, Back to the Future, here in the real Shaolin, District 13. Yo, today we have a very special guest. Not even a guest, a friend. Sometimes this guy is like he be Kalen Maxon over here at NPC the game. He has the pool house, which is basically a mansion. I want to say what's up to my good friend, my brother, Mystery Ozo. What's up, man?
Come on, man. You be gaslighting people.
I gotta do it before you do it to me, man. I would. If you were in town, dog, you get the mansion. I take the pool house. All right. Much love, man. How's it going, big dog?
Chilling. You already know, man. Just minding my business, man.
Just mind your business, huh? Yeah. Well, today you're not gonna mind your business. Today's episode is Psychedelic Netflix, featuring the legend, the urban shaman, the day tripper, Mystery Ozo. You like that, the day tripper?
Day tripper, man. Anytime.
Yeah. What's going on, Joe Cool? Yeah, man in the pool house for sure, man. Lady Luck, how's it going? You said at Mystery Ozo. Hello, she knows Mystery Ozo. How could you not? Fuck with NPC. Chicken Snake, what's up, Sean? How's it going, brother? Shadow Buddha in the building, bitch. In my too short voice, huh? What's up, man? How's it going, my brother? Yeah, so, bro, we already have like a million podcasts in the ethers online, but last we were talking about was that whole the Wright brothers.
The what?
You know, the Wright brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you hit that spot in the sky.
Yeah, the Wright brothers. They broadcasted all that. You know what I mean? You know what's crazy, right? If you go look at it, right? And you see when they were taking off, when they were showing their first flight, there was people that were there. There was a lot of people there, and there wasn't even a lot of people there. And the people that were there weren't even really interested. They were just like doing whatever. It wasn't like if it was like world event, like it was
like background noise.
Yeah, it was like background noise, and it was because of the fact that they had so many different flying machines, like that were airships that were off of helium and off of bladders and off of they had all type of stuff to since back in the days with the Vermanas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we see that a lot of that artistry and that mythology in the Ghibli Studios movies, that anime, the guy that made like Spirited Away, I think it's called Howl's Castle, where they got the aesthetics of like the 1880s Prussia. But then there's like these fucking airships that are huge flying around, like it's like you said, like it's nothing.
Yeah, they show these things in the background. Like my dog, right? the stupid little whistle thing in the background.
You blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
hey, it's slow. We're jumping. We're being psychedelic. Mine.
so,
I get the contact high from Mystery Ozo. That's like so, speaking of dogs, bro. How does that play into this your whole consciousness narrative, psychedelic narrative, like raising dogs and finding good homes for them, making that do re mi? How's that all?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's like it's fun because we don't just breed the dogs just to make puppies. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my boy, you feel me? Like as far as that goes, like I've had an English bulldog female. She was my favorite bulldog for an example. As far as that goes, like I had her. She lived her whole lifespan and died without never having puppies because I could never find a male that was quality to breed to her with. Like you know what I mean? She was a micro English bulldog. She was fire, and you know I did every male that was presented to me. Every time I wanted to find a stud male, one of my requirements was I had to see the dog in person. I don't care about pictures. Another that you know the dog had to be quality. And so when I seen the dogs, they always had defects. When I seen them in person, like I could see the dog had a cash register mouth sticking out, or had two carrots, or had something both of his left feet. Like you feel me? Like I'm all set. So I could never find a quality male, so I never breeded her. So that's just part of my thing. So it wasn't about making money or making more bulldogs because I could have easily made puppies to sell those. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to sell somebody a puppy that I don't want to keep, that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that's not going to come out healthy, that's going to have issues. Like I'm not going to sell that to somebody else just so I could get a couple dollars. Like you feel me? For me, it's more of my dog is mad annoying. You hear this dude, man? This dude with the whistle.
Yeah, I can barely hear it. Maybe because I have the volume low.
He's mad funny.
It's like, bro. It's basically like when we're talking to somebody and their kids in the background laughing, they're playing. But it's like, yeah, but it reminds us that like we're lucky to be blessed to have such great beings, children, and pets, and like that's a blessing, man.
Absolutely,
that's a blessing.
Yeah,
so when you hear that, man, it's great. And I see the way you raise your dogs and treat them, man. It's family, like as it should be, right?
Yeah.
What do you think dogs are here to teach us, man? Are we here to teach them, or vice versa?
Patience, yo, and like in that movie Alpha, we got a lot of they're hunters too. Like you know what I mean. The dogs are, they you know what I mean. They could think just like crows. Also, just like dogs.
Yeah.
And ravens are all connected somehow. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think dogs definitely teach us patience. I mean, even though we don't. Dude, that could screw that guy in a sense what he's about. I don't know, as a person, he might be great and all that, but what he represents, Neil Tyson, the grassy, that dude. But like, I love that one short he has where he's talking about dogs and putting into perspective how long they live, and maybe that resonates with the way they give it they all, dude. Like every moment, huh?
Yeah, every moment.
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
Every day is like a week to them.
Yeah.
Days like a week.
Yeah. Do you think they know that?
No, they know it because the morning and when they wake up in the morning, by the time the nighttime comes, they've already done so many things. They feel like
they're exhausted.
Yeah.
Because like some of us think that like animals don't have the concept of time, right? They're just in the moment. But dogs may be like that, but then again, they may also know that. And that's why they ride it till the wheels come off or something, because they be different, man, than a lot of other animals I see. Shout out to the cats and stuff. We'll do a broadcast on that in a couple weeks, but like something about dogs, man.
Dogs are different. They definitely show us loyalty. They're loyal on to a default. They have loyalty. Yeah. You feel me? Like
unconditional love, like we can say unconditional love.
A human could be a scumbag, dirtbag, piece of shit that'll kick the dog in the face, right? But as soon as done kicking that dog in the face, his door could get kicked in by somebody coming to kill him, and that dog will turn around and getting kicked in the face and go attack those people and fight for his life to protect the person that just kicked him, because that person that kicked him is still the person that feeds him, and the dog's loyal to that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I've seen that. Like you remember my newest dog we got like now almost 2 years ago. I used to tell you like they tie her up. This motorcycle helmet shop, they just tie her up on the leash for a year. And I would like see her like that, and I finally just got her. And then it's funny because I still walk. I go to the park with her every day around the corner from that shop, and one of the people that lived in that house, I guess she told me that she felt guilty of not trying to help it more, that dog, because I guess her brother was taking care of it, and so she got her own dog. But with that said, Dream is the name of my dog. She goes whenever she sees that lady, bro. She just runs over to her and gets all low on the ground and total submissive and so happy to see her. You know, even though this lady, like, I don't know, like hopefully I would never do like that. Just let a dog just be on the leash like that if it was in my house. But even though that lady kind of let that happen, we could say Dream still has major love for her. You know, so I think that's dogs are built different in a good way.
Yeah, they have loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty.
They don't have the part of the brain that we have, that, you know what I mean, that fucks us up.
Yeah. Lizard Tree, what's up? Good to have you. Yeah. Tried the Lizard Tree with the big dono yesterday. And Lady Luck for the second tier membership, man. Yeah, we take donations. They're encouraged, but we're happy for you to be here too as well. Yeah. Dude, okay, so that's funny how you said that. Like, we were talking yesterday about society, how it they put seem to put like a restrictor plate on our consciousness or our potential, right?
Yeah.
And the factors. And I was asking you about, like, can you name some of those factors, you know, that the society puts on us or programs us?
Like, you know, so when you try to go rent a Lambo, and the Rambo, they put a governor chip on that restricts.
Yeah, that's it.
Run as fast as it could go. So as far as, you know, research shows, like, people who have alien abductions or mostly with entities or something, or they get information from somewhere. When you go to retell it, there's a governor chip that's been placed on you that you can't repeat it. Like, you can't say the blueprint. You can't. Something stops you. You don't remember, or when you go to repeat it, it's mind. You have a brain fart. So it's like, and the hypnosis can do that. The hypnotist can hypnotize you and make you forget something, and, you know, like, it's like it never happened, and it's like a brain fart that's waiting to unlock. If they unlock it somehow, it's weird how the brain works. But governor chip has been placed on us through society, through training, through programs, daily.
Programming, man.
Through school, and you know, daily things we watch on TV. All of it's all programmed. Everything has been sanctioned and approved by the same 5 families or whatever families. They approved all the stuff we watch, all the programs we've been programmed with. So it's like cognitive dissonance to a lot of things that are actual happening, and then you could see something with your own eyes, and then they'll tell you something through your ears, and you ignore what you've seen with your eyes. So it's
it's like when we going on that whole apocalypto lit. Remember, we have, he was being the main character. He's being chased by the Aztec or Mayan, like, fucking savage, like, I'll say warriors, right? They were chasing him, right? And then they're about to kill him, and what stopped both of them, the hunter and the prey, in their tracks, was seeing the Spanish Armada ships out there in the bay, and then the little ship with them in there with the cross and the conquistadors and the Jesuits and all that shit. Like, so what were you saying about like the villages and how they used to come, and the natives, the original people, didn't even see them for a while?
Because it's part of the, like, society, right? So if we don't understand something, we don't believe something, we don't believe and if it's presented to us, we still won't see it because it's part of us not believing it. So or it's not it hasn't been introduced to us, so we have no idea in it, so we're skeptical. So when the conquistadors came, they went to some island chains and they would park their vessel off the shore and not bring it all the way to the shore. So they would dock it offshore and then go to shore on small little canoes and rafts or whatever, canoes. And then when they would get on land with the canoes, they would go rape and pillage and steal and do whatever they were doing, and
Right.
no one knew where they were appearing from. So these guys were like magic, coming from nowhere. They're coming from the sky. They don't know where they're coming from. They're just appearing, and they're different. Their skin is different. They have armor on that reflects arrows. They have weapons that are different. So they don't understand this. So it's like also when they finally got around to collecting slaves, collecting men, the couple of warriors got brought back to the ship on the ocean, and when they fought, they was fighting their way through when they were putting them like settling them in. One of them fought his way off the ship and dove off and swam back to shore, and when he gets to shore, he turns around and he could see the ship docked over there, and he goes back and he brings the whole village, brings everyone to come see these ships. And when he brings everyone to the shore, no one can see the ships. Even if he sees it right there, the sun comes up and everything, but no one can see what he sees because they don't understand what he's looking at. They don't understand that there's a ship right there, that big ship that he could see. They see it as part of the ocean, part of the rocks, part of the stuff that floats in, the debris, things that be out there. There's no bunch of humans comfortably chilling on that. So it's like you know what I mean. So it's not. It's the belief system is what is part of it.
Doing it.
Yeah, until they come and they get on shore and they come with their rifles, that they see them coming off of it and coming to the shore, that they then to make sense. Like now you see them coming from over there. Now it becomes part of what we believe.
Right. What they believe. Right. This is and shout out to Lady Luck. Subscribe to her channel, please, if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of us already have. She said that comment from Lady Luck. She said that she done a live recently and how some parts of history are left out of the curriculum. I've seen that. You've seen that, huh? Large parts of the curriculum, right? Of history.
Yo, it's all about the winner, whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they write the history books. Yeah,
they're not going to talk about the pirates, the real pirates. You know what I mean? The Moors.
Oh yeah, that was some shit. I'm glad you reminded me on. These Jack Sparrow,
those are
pirates, because we were talking about Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack Sparrow, he was a Moor, maybe, huh?
Yeah, he's a Moor. He was inspired by Moorish pirate for sure, 100%. Yeah. They ran the Caribbean. They ran everything. They had to pay tribute. You know what I'm saying, to these dudes. Like, there's no getting out that. They just transformed it into some other words, some other things. You know what I mean? Yeah,
the flag, right? The Confederate flag is a Moorish pirate flag, huh?
Over 300 years, they were. You know what I mean? They had the European. You know what I mean? They had the Colombian. No one could go over there. The Moors had ocean under control. The pirates. If you look into that, it's like ridiculous. Like there's no getting around that. And they're not African, so it's like they're all over the world. The Moors.
They're all over the world. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a psyop right there. It's like some of those
did bring slaves, and they did bring them, but there was already native, like
people all over the place.
Yeah, the Redskins, the ones that they show in cartoons that are red, like Bugs Bunny. Those red dudes, those black dudes, like those.
Right.
Yeah, and then they got since we're brown and black, right? So the light skinned ones, those are the Mexican Indians that look like the ones that they show the Native Americans, like the ones in the movies. Those are like Mexican Indian type. You know what I mean? Like the straight hair, straight the Asian hair, Asian features and stuff like that. Those are those native, but those are not all of them. They blacked out the black ones, the ones that were already here, and they try to say they brought them from Africa, but nah, there was already black natives. Indians,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I have to say that on that tip, it would benefit like people who to say the historians and stuff that were predominantly European at the time say like, oh, you know, Africa, there's the oldest human being, right? We're all from Africa, right? And black people, everyone's from Africa, not just melanated people, original people, but us too, white people, right? So that's limiting in the sense that, like, yeah, that's one continent, but when in fact, there's evidence on every continent, there's original, quote unquote, original melanated people.
Yeah,
there. Yeah, you'll like this one. What Lady Luck said. This is because she lives in Australia, right? And she said there are Aboriginal drawings here from the Dreamtime that look like alien ships in them. Wow.
Absolutely. That's why I'm gonna go on the walkabout in Australia to go
Walkabout, yeah.
to experience Dreamtime, and I've experienced already, like I told you about the hairy man, the Sasquatch dude.
The Sasquatch, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I wanted to go see what that is about, like, you know what I mean? Because you could do that here. Like, I don't have to even go to Australia, but I would like to go on a walkabout and actually go out there and eat and do all that stuff that they do on the walkabout. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
they commercialized it a lot, so it'd be better
Mhm.
from like some natives that are somewhere where they, like, you know what I mean, that you have to
Yeah.
ask for permission to speak to someone, like, you know what I mean, that could actually. But you know, it's like something that it's a real. You're out there with in the world, bro, with bugs that could kill you, scorpions, snakes, all kind of.
Mhm.
Got to be out there barefoot.
Yeah.
I mean, do shit like live.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that from the writings of Rudolf Steiner, because I guess uncommonality that you and I both have is our, like our reverence for Terrence McKenna, and like what a lot of stuff we've learned was from Terrence. Like when we expand on it now, right?
Yeah.
Like lives on and through us. And like one of the things he showed me was through his lectures was like Rudolf Steiner, and how he would talk about the Dreamtime Australian Aboriginal concept of about like one of the things he said is sometimes like they wake up in the day like it's the first day of creation every day. That's pretty epic to me. Like
Yeah.
that type of mindset.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. And the whole Dreamtime concept. I need to talk to Lady Luck about that, or even do you know about that like what that means and all that, the Dreamtime?
I mean, they have their own thing out there, man, that they do. That's why I would like to, you know what I mean?
Want to get to know, huh?
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
really take psychedelics too. You know what I'm saying?
they do, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have access to all that stuff. They have access
Yeah.
to certain things that they know about frogs, and they know about poisons, and they know about mushrooms and about cactus. They know about certain. They know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Patagonia.
Yeah, they know how to do their thing.
Yeah.
And they have them instruments too. That is like, you know what I mean? Traveling instruments like um the that tube they make, that the ants make it for them out of termite. The termites make it out of wood, and then they take it, clean it, and then they make a musical instrument out of it.
Oh, the didgeridoo.
Yeah, the didgeridoo, bro. That thing's
Hits your chakras, your whole
that thing's
body.
amazing, bro. And it's the animals who created it. It's not a human sitting there making that thing. It's ants, termites that make that thing. They just find one that's a nice piece that you could use for you know what I mean. They get a nice one that's perfect for a human to use and stuff. But it's definitely ants who making it out of branches, out of a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the that Terrence McKenna Alien Dreamtime where he did that lecture rave.
Yeah.
That didgeridoo, you can hear it. I gotta play. Well, shout out to Philip in the chat. I got your comment. I want to hit Oza with this comment, but I want to hear the didgeridoo for a second. This is didgeridoo. Shout out to our Australian brothers and sisters. Check it out. Hear that? Wow. And that's the didgeridoo, huh?
That thing is.
And then he has the alien spaceship music, ambient music.
You know what separates some people too is
what's that?
Not all people have this this thing inside of their ear that when they hear certain sounds that it makes their hair stand up, makes their skin stand up.
Yeah. That's kind of like how like an insect has the hair as extra sensory. You know, a lot of the Scorpios, we have a lot of hair. We have hair on our arms more than most people and stuff because we're like kind of like the insect body. You know, more sensitive to things and stuff in that nature. So yeah, well, if Philip has something to say, wait, Lady Luck, let me get this. What she said. NPC, there are trees on the nullibar that they use to make violin strings. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said there's a protocol when approaching tribes for permission. I remember she talked about that. We should definitely need to talk to Lady Luck. Maybe we'll drop the link in a little bit. We can talk
First,
about
I
that.
just need it's all about
Yeah.
my experience, right? Because I'm already
Mhm.
a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? It's just when I
Yeah.
was, so as a grown man, like when it is money is where your mouth is at. Like when I get my ticket and I'm ready to go
Yeah.
to Australia, that's when it's popping. You know what I mean? That's when I really got to get my shit together.
Yeah, for sure. But she's definitely a person to network with because she literally lives in like an Aboriginal community
Yeah,
in
that's dope.
Australia. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, money talks and bullshit walks. Philip, he said, our good friend Philip, number one mod. He said everyone is from China and Russia. China has the oldest recorded history in India.
Yeah.
Yeah, very old. Yeah, for
Yo,
sure.
I was surprised when I met Russians that looked Asian. I was like, "What?
Oh
Man?
yeah,
You don't look like the guy. You don't look like Drago from
yeah.
Rocky.
I will break you.
You don't look like Ivan Drago." It is like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's definitely Russian. Definitely look
that's
Asian.
that Eurasia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in Chinese, Kazakhstan, and all those places, huh? Yeah. Check this out. There we go. Let's see.
Why do some Russians have a special look? Their ancestors don't all come from Europe. Russia is by far the world's largest country. Close to 200 different ethnicities live there, with most of the nation. Why do some Russians have a special look? Their ancestors don't all come from Europe. Russia is by far the world's largest country. Close to 200 different ethnicities live there, with most of the nation being ethnic Russian. But why do some of them look different from other Slavs? Russian ancestry comes mostly from steppe people, making them close to most Eastern Europeans and other ethnic groups native to Northern Europe. Now, there are some differences between Russian regions. Most Russians are part of the core Slavic cluster. Those live in the central and southern oblasts and resemble Poles, Ukrainians, and Belarusians. But things are different for those in the northern regions. Russians can have some East Eurasian ancestry, which is mostly related to Siberian people. It can go over 5%
Siberian
of
shaman.
oblasts, making them very similar to various Finnic.
This is a better one right here.
Are Russians partly Asian? The answer is not what you think. Many think that
That's
due to the
what
fact
they
that
look
most
like.
of Russia is in Asia,
You saw that?
somehow
That guy,
girl.
most of
that girl and that guy, the guy and that girl specifically, I've seen those. That
Mm-hmm.
guy specifically, yeah, all the time.
I know him.
Yeah.
is not what you think. Many think that due to the fact that most of Russia is in Asia, that it somehow makes ethnic Russians partly East Asian in their ancestry. But here's the real picture. First of all, vast majority of ethnic Russians live in the European parts of Russia, while the Asian parts of Russia are usually semi-independent republics with ethnicities such as Bashkirs, Buryats, and Yakuts. Secondly,
Yakuts.
due there only being one word for both Russian ethnicity and citizenship in English, many ethnic minorities from Russia say they're Russian referring to their citizenship, but foreigners take it to mean as if they're ethnic Russians, when they could be from a different ethnicity in Russia. Finally, when analyzing results of ethnic Russians, we see that the vast majority of them does not have Asian admixture and is highly similar to other East Slavic peoples such as Ukrainians and Belarusians. The only exception were the Russians from Arkhangelsk region, as they had about 10%
Bro,
East
you didn't even
Eurasian
pull up the
Okay,
book.
they're mixed though. Come on.
Definitely. You didn't
Yeah,
even
this guy.
here, bro.
He ain't helping our narrative.
The Mexicans looking like Russians too, man.
Dude, the Taiwanese and the Taiwanese look like Russians or Mexicans, or it's like, I mean, there's so many theories. I wasn't there, so I'll go by like. But you could take any of the theories, and it adds to people were hooking up. They traveled and they hook up. If they went across the land bridge, the Russians, those native people, and they walked through Alaska down to Canada. When it was frozen over, right? The bear, right over there, and they walked down to America. I mean, they could have popped out of Mexico and then keep going south. Or it's just like it's uncanny to see like for example, a Taiwanese person or any Han Chinese looking person. They look like some fucking dude from Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, from
Happy
Mexico.
Busan.
I was gonna say chope.
Looking like Happy
from
Busan.
Mexico.
Looking like Happy Busan, man, from MUFON, yo. With the
There you go.
UFO research.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah,
the
man.
Boogosphere that they got?
The what fair?
It's called the Boogosphere.
Oh yeah, remember you were talking about that. Let's bring that up. The Boogosphere, yeah. The Mongols are some of the oldest. Yeah, Mongols are super old up north. Yeah, the giant people. Yeah. The Boogosphere, that's right, huh? I don't know. I have. Yeah, tell us about it. That was the dude had that.
They found one of the orbs. They captured.
Yeah.
They captured one of the made out of this.
Did you actually post it on your page?
They have it everywhere, but it's crazy, man. This thing is it's BUGA, Buga Sphere, Colombia.
Okay.
I mean, Musan's involved. All them people, they got all them. They took it, they X-rayed it. They did all the X-rays and all kind of stuff to it. Like,
I got you.
Yeah.
The Boogosphere. Here you go. Mystery Ozo, we traveling right now in hyperspace.
This thing with batteries not included out there.
A metallic sphere discovered in Colombia is baffling scientists. X-rays reveal a complex internal structure, layers of metal, tiny.
Oh, we got a legend in the fucking building. Chris Lestrange.
No welds.
Wow. What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Another great content creator.
Suggesting a powerful
I was gonna say master debater, but he is definitely. He's good. Yeah.
Potential messages.
Look at those higher.
One interpretation speaks of unity.
So what is this thing, dude?
It's a dang orb. But they caught it. They got it on video flying around, and then got hit by some lightning, which doesn't make sense because there's lightning in the sky anyways. But it got hit by some electricity and it landed, and they went and touched it, and it didn't, and they still messing with it, touching it, and it's weird. They pour cold water on it. The hieroglyphs.
This is the Boogosphere, solid.
Here
it has what appears to be some kind of circuits. It has some kind of letter nomenclature, symbols.
Like a soccer ball. So that's real video of that floating around right there on the bottom.
It has these very porous half moons that seem to be a kind of caverns towards its interior.
It was just going to be a UFO that was going to be on video and it was going to fly off.
It is absolutely solid.
Went through these power lines, got zapped, and
on
landed.
The side, it has what appears to be a belt. Well, something we never imagined about.
Hey, Mods, can you put Chris's channel in the when you have a chance?
It really is a real find. A find.
A dirty African. You South
What the hell?
And my dad's from Mali, Swaziland. Yeah. Shout out. Oh shit! What the?
And it is not a balloon.
All right. Let's see.
It has no fans.
I'm not giving into the astonishment. I'm putting my.
It has these very porous half moons that seem to be a kind of caverns towards its interior. It is absolutely solid. On the side, it has what appears to be a belt.
Let's see.
Well, something we never imagined about these spheres.
It's Chris's channel. Check it out, please.
It really is a real find. A find.
They
what
got
the hell?
From different places before it landed, before the spot where it actually landed. They were shooting videos, like it was some type of UFO. They don't know what it is.
Lizard Chief, like, what the hell is this?
They got the guy who actually walked up to it first and then he touched it. Like they were.
Come a little close to the mic, Ozo.
Like something strange.
You're drifting.
My bad.
Like some driftwood in the lake, in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Look at that.
It is not super fast.
How they get it down? It just fell or something?
Yeah, you'll see. There's videos of it when it landed, when it fell.
The ball is not even a balloon.
How is it flying though?
I don't know, man. No, people say that's a drone. Somebody could say that, right?
Nah, but they already
Just a few weeks ago, somewhere out in Colombia, a video was taken of a metal sphere flying across the sky. It starts off right above the person filming, but seems to move off
thanks,
towards a
guys.
nearby
Sub up.
city. They watch it for a while,
We got you,
zooming in
bruh.
and out, and try to get it from another angle. As the clip proceeds, we see it start to slow down before losing altitude and quickly falling to the ground. The clip then cuts to the camera person standing above this object and looking down at it in the foliage. Although this is all we would see in this X clip, another video would surface on YouTube showing a couple of men hiking down to the object to retrieve it. Shortly after this, pictures of the metal sphere sitting on a scale and one of it next to the man that found it would make its way around the internet. They then apparently sent the orb to a place called German Company Laboratory.
Donations are welcome.
Examination of it
come up anyway.
Also taking a blowtorch to it for some
reason. A blowtorch?
Although this does seem quite mysterious, most people are under the impression that this is nothing more than a hoax made with simple materials and video editing.
Gracie Gray in the house.
It looks very much like some kind of foil balloon or maybe even a drone floating off into the distance. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Was this an extraterrestrial artifact or just a simple hoax?
I don't know, man. Let's relate that to the psychedelic experience, can we?
I don't know, man. There was nothing simple about it when the guy, that dude, Jaime Maussan, when he gets involved, he's the guy who brought the alien body to Congress and shit. Like he's the one he did a bunch of shit. Like so,
I remember that.
So that
was him.
Yeah. So that UFO right there
in Mexico, right?
Yeah. So UFO right there. They X-rayed it. They put it through all the spectrum analysis, and they said there's no. Like the part, it's just certain levels. This got different layers of metal, and they tested it. They tested a bunch of things, and none of it makes sense of how it flies. How it's not magnetic. It doesn't have no magnetism to it. It's like they don't know how it's moving, and they got video of it from different places before it went to this place where it actually landed. They have videos of it flying. They got reports of people recording it flying around like a UFO, doing shit, moving around fast, and then. I zapped. It looked like it malfunctioned somehow, and then it landed.
I think we can relate that to our lives now, something like that. Because, like, I always been interested in UFOs and seeing weird stuff when I was camping, particularly. But like, how do you think the UFO or extraterrestrial things, how we can bring that home to down here?
Oh man, I already know I had the batteries not included, so.
Yeah, tell them real quick the abridged version.
Hey, listen, man, batteries not. Come on, man. These experiences of seeing these things, it's probably the same story that goes back to the fairies and the fairies having technology and instruments and you know what I mean, having things that we don't understand back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these might be the same beings all along, the same thing. And who knows, man? Like the ones that I seen, that it was like me being Gargamel, seeing the Smurfs through the bushes, and then you know what I'm saying. And then I try to tell, then I try to go tell people I found the Smurf village, and then the Smurf village isn't there anymore because it only comes out in the light of the blue moon type of shit. Because that's what happens when you take shrooms. You're in the light of the blue moon.
Yes.
But
it goes with the blue bruising of the of the stem, right? And
the
whole mushroom. The more blue it is, the more potent a lot of times, right?
The bluing is the indicator of that it has potency running through the veins of the mushroom as it contains psilocin and it contains the psilocin. I mean the psilocybin mushroom. So it's the blue is an indicator that it contains psilocin.
Yeah. There's so many of them, like in the mythologies and religions, like the blue god, like Shiva, right? And then the genie of the lamp, the blue meanies, the Martians.
Oh, check this out, right? I was watching.
Smurfs.
I was watching The Blood of Zeus. So So Blood of Zeus. One. Yeah, on
Netflix.
Yeah, so Blood of Zeus.
Psychedelic Netflix episode.
Yeah, so it's about the Greek gods and all the Greek mythology and all that. But this information is so basically, I guess, looking at it this way too. Kronos is God, and Zeus is Jesus. This was told in different, they eliminated all the other characters and they did this and that and they just kept the main character and they change and they move and they shift. You know what I'm saying? But all these characters.
What's it called? The show again?
Blood of Zeus.
Oh, Blood of Zeus. That's right.
Yeah. So the main god is, they didn't show Kronos, the Greek god Kronos. He devoured all his children. He would eat them because there was a prophecy of one of his children being the one to kill him or to, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't take no chances. So he just ate all of his children. And
oh man,
yeah. So
never hear about that shit.
Zeus was somehow smuggled out because they played a trick on Kronos by Gaia or one of his sisters or one of them. They made a sack of fruits, of a sack of veggies or something, squirm around like a baby. And they took the real baby and disappeared him to somewhere else to raise him like somewhere, you know what I mean, with the humans.
Right.
Oh, not with the humans. They took him somewhere else to raise him hidden and out of the hot eyes of Kronos. And so that was Zeus. And so they imprisoned Kronos. So Kronos is imprisoned in the underworld somewhere forever and shit. So, but I guess I don't know if they could kill him or not. But anyways, this cartoon's not about that. It just shows Kronos and it shows Zeus and all that. But it's about, so the first blood generation is Kronos and his brothers and them, the gods, the monsters.
Where'd they come from?
They're monsters.
They just will themselves into existence or something?
Nah, I think they're just like monsters of ethereal beings. Like Gaia is one of them. She's Earth.
Oh, okay.
And the other ones are different
elements and stuff.
Yeah.
This is like what H.P. Lovecraft calls, like, I think go under, like they call them the ancient ones or the old gods.
The old gods, yeah, the old ones.
Yeah.
They destroy everything they create. So these old gods created the gods, the Olympic gods, like Zeus. All of those are gods created by them, and they in turn can breed with us and create demigods that have that are half human, half like Perseus and
or Titan.
Yeah, or Titans. They could create God. They could create both because they got giants. They're giant blood. So the Zeus and all them are giant blood because they come from Kronos and all those. So they're giants. So when gods like Zeus and them create have intercourse with a female because they like humans, they create demigods. And the demigods.
This is in the dude. This is like Bible on Bible KJV King James Bible about the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get trendy, Anunnaki.
Yep, the Anunnaki, them giants. Yep, all that
mating with the human daughters, right?
Yep,
daughters of man. Yeah.
Found them good. So yeah, the damn Anunnaki things, like the gods when they create demigods, those are the heroes. The heroic humans that have like powers of like they favored by the gods the highest because they're demigods.
Right.
But
they look after them too. They like watch down on them, huh?
Yeah, from
they're in the heavens or Mount Olympus, aka Mount Olympus.
I got from that cartoon, right? I was watching it and all the information collecting and all the information. So I feel that Mount Olympus, where the gods are at, that's Black Rock. Whereas in that Black Rock is the rock that's in the highest point on the planet is over there in the where the ice wall's at over there in Antarctica. There's a giant.
What? Wait, back it up. Black Rock. I've heard the company Black Rock. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Black Rock named their company over this Black Rock, this giant Black Rock. That's the biggest giant, the highest point on the planet. It's over there in the pole over there.
What? Okay.
The pole of the Earth. Basically, that giant Black Rock is a magnetic giant rock that is the pole of the Earth. So this giant, so anyways, that's where Mount Olympus is. That's where they watch down on us there, the gods. So, in one of the episodes, one of the episodes, there's Hermes is one of the gods, one of the demigods. I think he's half human. So he carries around. He has these special things on his arms, like these bracelets, and he has this horn that is a magic horn with all kind of gold lace on it. That when someone dies, he can pull their soul out of their body, and he could place it into the horn, and he could go deliver the bodies down to wherever they got to go. He could deliver them to wherever they got to go, to the underworld. He could bring them to the river, to where you got to have, if you don't
River
have,
Styx.
yeah, so he could brings you down there, whatever. So what I'm saying is, I'm looking at this, I'm watching this, and I'm getting these information side notes. Like, okay, I think where they're at is Black Rock, the magnetic rock. I think that a jinn, is this horn that he had because he took one of the gods and he put her into that horn to bring her somewhere, and it was like a genie in a lamp. You know what I'm saying? She could come out still and talk like a ghost, and she would still have power. So it's like this is the same as a genie. So it's like this is translated in a different language or found somewhere else. It's like these things are shown in a cartoon. So it's like an adult. This is not for an adult to go come with theories and shit, but it's like there to make it pre-planned, pre-put into some kids' heads of the stuff that's out there already, reality things.
Right. It's a pre-program. Yeah, exactly, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like they used to do with myths and stuff. I mean, we still do it to pre-program the culture into believing whatever they want them to believe. The tribe.
Yeah,
you know, when it was like the shaman telling the stories.
It's almost like freedom of press when it comes to cartoonists and cartooning and making worlds, and then you could say it's fictional. It's I'm just you know what I mean. And so you could do everything that's in the ice wall. You could draw. You could make the world tree. You could make video games. You could do all kind of stuff and make it seem like this is this and that, but it might be a speck of something about it. You know what I mean?
Right. This is it, right?
Yes. Those are the twins that came from Zeus. One is a blue eye, one is brown eye. Because the lady, like in a Jerry Springer, she had twins. One was one man's and the other twin was the other man's. The twin with the blue eyes was Zeus. And the other one belonged to the king guy.
Okay. So they were twins, huh? I
Yeah,
didn't even know that mythology like that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Hermes. Yeah. I'm Heracles. Heracles, not Zeus. Heracles is one of the kids. And the other one is
the kids,
some other
Zeus
kid.
is the father.
Heracles is the word that spawned hero. Like heroicness. Heroics.
Yeah. Yeah. Herculean the feat. It's like something that you never think you could do, but you did it. Like superhero.
Yeah.
Superhuman. The Uberman, Nietzsche would say. Speaking of Nietzsche, what's up, Crystal Strange? How's it going, my friend?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Pretty good. Yeah. Chris, this is my good friend, Mystery Ozo, Chris.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Yeah, we're talking Greek, I guess mythology. Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, man, I know a little bit about this stuff. I was listening a little bit.
Yeah. What's your thoughts in terms of like? I'll ask the whole panel, like in the chat, like on myths, why they're so important, and why as humans they seem to be like. I mean, granted, we don't sit around the fire really and tell them like we used to, but definitely you see them out in movies and stuff.
You know what's
why do you think these?
A side note about it is I think that a lot of these men of renown, right? Like some of the men of renown, they say had blood of Nephilim blood to make them big giants and stuff like that. But what I'm saying, even then, back then, I think it's about the food source and about the stuff that we put into our bodies to make ourselves that we could live 800 years and we could be super strong and we could it's all about. That's why this is happening with the food in the supermarkets and the way they're poisoning us with dyes and chemicals to dumb down the human as far as how long we live and
potential. Yeah. Like it's at the restrictor plate you were talking about. I mean, look at the Terminator. The Terminator is supposed to live at least 120 years, and I think there are references in the Bible that one could say that. I mean, you're supposed to live at least 120 years. Everything's going like the way it's supposed to be. So real quick, Chris, what's your thoughts on any of this stuff? I hear your cat, I think. or
Yeah,
somebody's
man.
cat.
Fucking Death Cat is crazy, bro. It's a joke on my streams, bro. The fucking
we got a puppy. We got Ozo with his puppy playing with the toy, squeak toy. Now you got Chris's cat going wild. Yeah. So what's up?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, dude, I would say, I guess the main thing behind the myths, right, is it's the problem with atheism. It's if you go down that route too much, you just end up in complete nihilism. So I think the myths and the stories we tell and have told for all of the generations of humans is to give meaning to life. It's the bigger picture behind just the mortal existence of life, right? So that's how we get to the stories, the allegories, and everything that adds a extra layer of complexity to life. Otherwise, it kind of becomes meaningless. There is no justification for, morals or more or why to do anything really if this quick material existence is all that we have, right? So we come up with the stories, we figure out philosophy, we run through all of these scripts and stories to just add meaning and complexity, and that's what makes us different to animals, right?
Yeah, that's the way we can hold a continuous story, even our own narrative, personal narratives. And which actually is the reason why I love personally like to engage with myths all over the world and cultures, not just my own, because it kind of snaps me out of my mundane life doing things. And the more myths, I figure the more myths I know, the more I can superimpose them or relate them to what I'm doing. And I can say, oh shit, that's like a Hyrule theme or a Odin theme going on right here. You know what I'm saying? This makes my life more interesting.
Yeah, man.
Epic. It's mythical narrative.
No, for sure. And it's interesting also how, we think we're so much smarter today. And then you look at Socrates and all of these guys waxing philosophy all those thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, and it's funny how they've ran through some of the most complex problems many years ago, and we think nowadays we're so much smarter, but most of these things have been resolved by way older humans back in the past.
It's stuff. It's like Ozo, you're saying that like there's a lot of stuff to get in the way, man. Now when you because this the title of this the theme of this broadcast is psychedelic Netflix. We're talking about the different shows that are kind of like points to psychedelic, themes and ways of thinking. Ozo, how would you say like psychedelics, your trips, whatnot, have either increased your storytelling ability, or you just I don't know. What do you have to say about that? Yeah, I'm kind of.
I feel like
I
try to like not have any anchors in retelling an experience. Like if I have a experience, I just explain what happened and what I seen and where I went and how, like, and that's it. You know what I mean? And for the most part, those are the only stories I tell. If I'm going to tell something, like, you know what I mean? Like if it happened, like, I experienced it, or if I witnessed it, or if I, but it's mind opening, like, and experience wise, like it's just makes you think everything. You have to reflect on everything, man. Like, like it's mind blowing that astral projection is real. Like you could move without moving, see without seeing, and hear without hearing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the eyes and the body and the somehow we could do this naturally somehow. And it's like psychedelics bring it right back to the forefront of like astronaut status. Like, yo, you're out of here. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah, look at the words we use: tripping, and like the as of a long distance traveling.
Yeah, man. It's quite interesting. Trips are quite interesting. But I mean, what's funny about that, Mystery Ozo is saying? I mean, I astral projected before I had ever tripped.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, as a kid, it was fucking trippy. I had smoked weed, but I well, I wouldn't call it astral projection. It was technically an out of body experience. So I floated outside of my body while in a car, which was quite interesting. So,
and this
yeah,
wasn't like because like a near death experience or anything. It was just
no,
it
no, no,
started
dude.
happening.
Meditation CD in a car was playing, and I was chilling in the car. And then what I had noticed was I drifted outside of myself and watched myself, and my head hit the window of the car, and I was floating outside of the car while the car was driving. And yeah, it was interesting. So I was watching myself and everybody in the car, and then I just thought I want to go back, and I felt myself getting sucked back into my body.
Hmm.
And then after that I had done psychedelics, so it's quite interesting. It's also something that's very interesting about certain religious practices, and then psychedelics. They have close ties in the sense of the feeling or what they do. I mean, even with, like you said, there's natural ways, lucid dreaming, astral projection, out of body experiences, breath work, or even Kundalini can do similar things to what you would experience on psychedelics. And then being in very religious situations can do the same thing. I was in a temple at about 7, 8 years old, chilling with monks, and dude, that experience it felt like a drug. It's that same kind of higher energy that happens in that experience.
Yeah, in a temple.
It's got a similar energy and feeling towards it, but then obviously later on in my life I learned the distinctions between these things, right? They are all different, even though they carry a similar, best way to say it is similar feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, Mysteriosa, you've had similar feelings to when you were tripping to when you weren't doing different things.
Well, I think what he's saying too is you're referring to, just to expand on that a little bit. Like Terrence also reflected on him, said that the people who psychedelics really work on are the people who, for an example, like I told you, like people who read books and read a book, and then when the movie comes out, they're like, that movie sucked. The book was way better than the movie, because when you were reading the book, it was like you seen the movie, you watched this shit play out wherever
Imagination, yeah.
your whole the
It's the
character,
imagination.
the people, everything happening, the scenery, everything was played out in your mind because you formulated the whole thing. So it's like these type of people take psychedelics and they see the most. They see the things the most, and it's like so I also, when I was a kid, I had, you know how back in the day when we were kids, I was born in '79. So when I was a kid, growing up,
77.
parents used to, if your cousins had chickenpox, something, they would expose you to them. Like they would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
go over there." Everybody would expose it so that to get it out, knock it out the box, to not have it later or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? So they kept.
Right.
So I had chickenpox. I caught it twice, and it was supposedly fine. But then I caught it a third time, and then I caught it a fourth time. So
Jesus.
after I had it twice,
Well, you don't mean to say
third
Jesus.
the third time was like they was like, wow, for him to have it 3 times, like he's already had it twice. It was impossible. They've never even heard of anybody catching it 3 times. And the third time I caught it, it was like only a few chicken pox, and then it went away. But then the fourth time that I got it, it wasn't normal. It was like a fever. I was asked out. So this time I was a fever, and I was in the room, and I was going through like, bro, that was the first psychedelic experience that I've ever had, bro. Like I was traveling. I felt like magnetic force in my brain flipped my whole body up. My feet went into the air, and I was traveling on a handstand on a straight line, going straight fast, and somewhere that was grid on the floor, and I was traveling speed
on that track, huh?
On the track, yeah, towards this pillar that was moving in the background. It was crazy, with a door at the top of it. It was ridiculous. The whole thing that
sounds psychedelic, but then it sounds like a fever dream you're having.
Yeah,
maybe, or something.
My grandmother came into the room. I was looking at the door above these rocks. So when I was moving fast on this grid, and I felt the gravity, like in the gravitron in the amusement park. Like I felt my brain being pulled as I was traveling on this grid mad fast to where I got to this end of it, and I got off. And I was standing up now, and I was looking at this pillar that was moving like a pattern, like a snake. But at the top of the pillar, and they were stone. and it was these pillars. It was like stacked up stones, bricks, like these giant bricks that were stacked up on top of each other that led to the top one that was the biggest brick, and this big giant one had a door on it, and this thing was moving back and forth, and I was like, how am I supposed to climb up there if this thing is moving like this? And I was just mesmerized by that. And then my grandmother came in and was wiping my face and wiping the sweat, and I started out from that place, and I'm seeing, looking at her now, and she's talking to me, and she's telling me that I'm okay, that I'm just dreaming, that it's all right, don't worry about it, and whatever. And I'm trying to explain to her what I was looking at, and she brushed it off. And then I closed my eyes again after she walked up the room, and this time I was in the money bin, like the money bin, like Scrooge McDuck. There was nothing but coins
with all the coins and stuff.
Yeah, and I could taste the
gold
copper.
coin.
I could taste them in the back of my throat. It was like I was swimming through them, trying to get out of them, and the room was filling, like if in a dream where the room is filling with water, but instead of filling with water, it was filling with these coins. And this is part of the whole. You know what I mean? Like my grandmother again coming in again and telling me that don't worry. I was trying to explain to her about the coins, and she was like, "Don't worry about none of that stuff." Like that. I was.
That's like the weird way of don't give it to the astonishment. But so she kind of. Do you think if she would have been supportive more of what you saw and took it as more base reality, that you would?
He basically came in, called me off, and told me not to give into astonishment, like you said, and just to relax and to never mind. So I just went back into nothing. I went back like there was nothing. I wasn't afraid of it. Yeah.
Chris, did you tell your parents or who you were with when your experience, or did someone stop, like kind of like what Ozo's grandma did when you told him?
No,
if you did.
No, my mom was cool, and my dad was very Christian religious. So my family's always been cool with weird shit, bro. My dad was like hyper religious, so he was, faith healing, all of this stuff. And my mom, it seems all of the ladies in our family have, ghost experiences, can say stuff.
I see that a lot with my circle. I'm sure Ozo's ladies, it's like a coven of women always around a lot of us.
Yeah. So no, my grandma and my mom have, seen or felt ghosts, or, have had weird feelings before bad shit happens. So it's always so it's kind of a general rule. Whenever my mom calls me and she's like, I have a bad feeling, it's like, you better stay home. I'm like, fuck, fine, I'll listen.
Yeah.
So my family's always been cool like that. They haven't been, I can usually discuss weird shit with them. It's never been an issue.
Yeah. I mean, with a name like Lestrange, a family name, that's it. That says it all. Yeah.
Well, that's obviously not the real one.
Yeah, I figured.
It's close to the real one, but it's not. I changed it up slightly, but man, no. So no, it's always been cool. I mean, fuck, dude, the meditation CD when I had the out of body was my mom's thing, so she was interesting. But yeah, and like I said, when I went to Asia, my dad lived in Asia, so he
did. What country?
He lived in Taiwan. No, yes, China wouldn't like us saying Taiwan is a thing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now, the oldest city in Taiwan.
Oh shit, that's cool, man.
I'm in China. That's dope.
So
you were there as a kid?
Yeah, man. My first time flying. Well, he left when I was 4. He left South Africa, so he was doing TEFL and stuff over there, and then I think it was at 7 was the first time I flew. I was back before there were cell phones, nothing. I even told my mom that
by yourself, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, you a G, dude. How the fuck did you just let me jump on a plane and fly to Asia?
Do that.
No phone, no internet, no nothing, bro.
That's like I heard the Sir Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin company.
Yeah.
Like supposedly there's a story that when he was 7 or 8, his mom took him maybe like 20 miles out of town and just dropped him off and said, "Okay, son, you got to find your way home."
Nice.
He did it. Look at him now.
Well, with this, it wasn't exactly the case, man. But
it's a pretty far trip though by yourself.
Yeah. No, it was. I was like, fuck, dude. I don't think any parents nowadays would allow that. But yeah, so she was cool. She trusted I'd be all right. Had a 12-hour delay in China though, which was a little bit fucking weird. Just they force you to sit in a room and they're like, don't leave this room. You're like, okay.
As a kid?
Yeah, as a kid. But I'm like,
Damn, that's
well, they
tough.
don't
No
really.
phone or anything? No
Nah, and
tablet?
they don't speak English, man. They just
No,
bought
they
a
don't, yeah.
platter. Yeah, and they
No.
like just stay in this room, don't leave, don't leave. And you're like, okay, fuck, I hope this is gonna be fine. And then yeah, made it there, and then he took me to some temple. So the monks were praying, so I just kind of joined in and sat down with them. And yeah, the experience was quite trippy, man. You could almost feel it, you know, that presence in the air. You know, everybody chanting at once. But it's akin to the same feeling that you would get. Let's say you like Metallica, man, and you go to a Metallica show. That moment where that whole crowd is singing together, and it's kind of that oneness that happens in that
Yeah.
crowd. It's that similar feeling, man. It's that everybody focusing their minds on this same moment, the same chant, same experience. It's like it's a holy feeling, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely is one of a kind. Yeah, I think I've been there before. And a concert's a good metaphor for that. That's a special thing.
It's always
Ozo,
quite
you
interesting when humans come together and all focus, you know, on one thing or moment or chant or sound or something. It's quite an interesting experience, and you can find that
yeah.
almost everywhere on the planet.
Yeah, and you see like those maybe people who don't have, well, who knows what they think, the quote unquote social engineers of the planet or whatever. Maybe there's some of them are trying to do good in their own way, even though it's all fucked up. But this is why like things like the Super Bowl, World Cup, for example,
Yeah.
a lot of those, like when we see those halftime shows and opening ceremonies, people know that everyone's watching them. And there's some interesting stuff that's hitting the subconscious and these archaic like symbols and stuff they use. And yeah. So everyone's
it's that.
watching it though at once.
Yeah, but that's a tribalism, right? It's like, you know, everybody in that moment becomes that one tribe, you know, or it's even, you know, you can expand that to country, to ideology, to whatever, you know, you become a part of this tribe. It's you know, it's the human thing of wanting to assimilate, right? Not be lonely.
Yeah, it's not too much fun. Like I bet sitting in that room wasn't that fun by yourself. So what's the longest you've been by yourself before?
Oh, bro, I don't mind. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like they did a study. The guy was said it's dangerous to go and be by yourself for long times because you get comfortable and you get used to it, and then around people you start finding nonsense that it's like you rather be by yourself. You know what I mean? I've done.
Yeah, the problem. well, dude, it's kind of a dilemma both ways, right? So the thing is, most people can't be by themselves, right? They can't sit with their internal dialogue or sit by themselves, which is bad or generally. If you can't deal with your own thoughts or your own company. But then, yes, it has the polar opposite where if you're able to do that and you get comfortable in that, then you start realizing that sometimes other people annoy you. And then, yes, you tend to become isolatory, or, you know, you don't want to turn into an incel. So you always got to be careful with that. And the problem is also, it's also with men, you'll find, well, even with women, but you'll find this: the older people get, the longer they've lived alone. It's that kind of grumpy old man syndrome. You don't like change anymore. You get complacent in your ways. You don't, you know, assimilate with having people around you, because a little annoyance becomes you know, obstacles or things you just don't want to deal with anymore.
Well, I think the key to getting past that is becoming a learned man. Now you have to start digging for information, and you keep digging and digging, and so you figure out after a while that you don't know everything. You don't know nothing. The more you know,
that's a smart
the more you realize you don't know shit. The more you realize the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know nothing. So you keep digging and digging, and you become like a child in the mind for absorbing information. Like you, Johnny Five.
Johnny Five alive.
Need more
Short
info,
circuit.
more input,
Yeah.
more input.
More input, yeah. It's like real quick.
You
Just
don't get bored.
go backward.
You know
What was that?
You don't get bored looking.
No, you don't get bored. Yeah,
researching, like finding stuff and
right. No, I mean it's like look at when you look at a microscope, the more you magnify it is, right? The more fractal they say it gets, right? I guess scientists. But then when you look at the telescopes, these high powered telescopes, the more you look into the universe out there, the more it starts changing among, you know what I mean? It's like you never can get there. Seems like it just keeps going and going and going. And that's probably
there's no bottom.
No bottom to a lot of things in life. But well, I don't know what it is. Some of us were like, we got to know. We got to know. It's like that famous line in one of my favorite movies, Fear, Loathing, Las Vegas. There he goes. I want total coverage.
Yeah.
Lacerda, the Portuguese guy. Total coverage.
Egotistical for sure. Like you can't know everything.
You can't know everything. No.
And it's good to realize, to relax. Like you don't need to know everything. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing between science and, I guess, I have a aversion to the spiritual stuff because I come from a little bit of that background. But spiritual or religious versus science, the one says, we're gonna figure out all of the answers, and the other one says, I'm fine not knowing. I understand how far this rabbit hole goes. I think you know what, you won't ever know everything.
Nope.
No. Over here in Taiwan, it's interesting because I never met him, but his works and good deeds, and it's probably his academia too, lives through like his students I know, and my wife, who's my father-in-law. I never met him, but he's like a professor. He was a professor in bioengineering before he passed, and it's funny because like supposedly his mother was this hardcore Buddhist, only ate vegetables, and did all the things, right, the rituals. And he went to college to study science, and his friend he met at the National University over here was like, bro, we got our degree and stuff, we're good, but you're gonna go to America to get your master's and PhD. I want you to take this, what I found. And then he said, what? He gave him the Bible, and my father-in-law supposedly was like, why do I need this, dude? We're scientists, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. He's like, okay. So he went to America. And I don't know. Maybe it's because he probably felt isolated or whatever. But he started reading the book, and come to find out, he ended up being this deacon and really this Gideon person who gives out Bibles and so like he's a scientist still and doing all these innovations and discoveries. And I've noticed, because I know his colleagues now, because my wife used to work there too. Like a lot of them are Christians or Buddhists and stuff. It's interesting. A lot of the scientists I know. Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, what's interesting about that is that it's, as time progresses, it almost feels like, where science used to be, it's getting more and more psychedelic and trippy and pointing to the things that religion or spiritual practices have spoken about for many, many years,
Right.
Now with quantum, with the quantum realm, everything in a flux of vibration, matter is constantly moving. All of these things is kind of, spiritual, religious beliefs. God is everywhere. The quantum field is everywhere. It almost is we're coming to a point where it's blending. Yeah,
yes.
It's blending.
It all matches up. It corresponds, right?
Dude, NPC, so you're American, but you're living in Taiwan.
Yeah, I'm American. I'm from I'm California.
Okay.
And my parents, like I was telling you, my parents are. I can give my whole narrative.
No. Yeah.
No, I would say, like, dude, like my dad, he came out to California where he met my mom, and he's from Swaziland. I don't think they call it that anymore, right?
No, Swaziland's Swaziland's good, bro. We stole Swaziland's going.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I think his family's originally from Mali. But anyway, he's from Swaziland, and my mom's like Irish, Spanish, Mexican. So
yeah,
and then
Mali's top Africa, and then Swaziland's close to us here in South Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the South African president was just in America, right?
Yeah, dude. No,
Yeah, there's some.
everybody wanted to speak to me about that nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. I already have my coworker at the academy I work at. He's South African. He's a Brit, South African. He moved from London. Paul. He moved from London to South Africa when he was like in junior high. So he has some interesting stories, and he was in the army during the apartheid and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I love Paul. He's great. What I was going to say is like, yeah, I moved out to Taiwan. My wife's Taiwanese American. She grew up mostly in America where I met her, and then we moved here about 9 years ago. We moved to Taiwan. So this is where we've been, and I have a son now, Ben.
Oh, sick, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah. What about you? So you like you traveled when you were young and stuff, but you mainly been in South Africa lately?
Yeah, I traveled a lot when I was young because my dad was all over the show, you know. So I did Taiwan, did Bangkok. He was in New York for a bit, so I did a lot of traveling when I was young.
Okay.
But
that's my favorite city. Ozo, shout out to Ozo. I like New York just to visit.
Yeah, I like New York, man. I was there just like 2 months after 9/11, bro. So that was trippy.
Oh wow, that's a trip.
Yeah, dude, they were still cleaning up. They were still cleaning up the fucking rubble when I was there.
We got 2 mystery Ozos. Hold on, which one do I get rid of? Say something. Okay, good. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, so
they were cleaning up the rubble.
Yeah, they were still cleaning out. It was like 2 months after it happened, man. So I had like massive security checks and issues when I tried to get in because of what just happened. But yeah, I was there right after it happened, like 2 months after the incident happened. But yeah, man, I've always, just as a kid, I've traveled. So I think last time I left was like 16. But other than that, always been in South Africa, man. Always been here.
Yeah, and now you see because we have our biggest YouTube. It's funny, the biggest expat YouTubers are expat South Africans here in Taiwan.
Really?
Like the biggest guy, what's his name? Life in Taiwan. He like I knew about him when he only had 1,000 subs. Now he has like 250,000. And anyway, it's funny because he's from England. He came to Taiwan like 15 years ago with his South African wife. They ended up getting divorced and have a kid here. It kind of reminds me of what you were saying, how you went to Taiwan when you were young. His son moved back to South Africa with his mom, and now the father's been here teaching and making YouTube videos. So it's wild.
I think I've actually seen that dude, man. Isn't he the guy that like travels around and he's traveled to China and everywhere as well?
Oh, wait, that's a different one. That's what I mean. Like South African, they have this China Taiwan thing on lock. That's Serpentine. Winston, who's from South Africa, and he lived in China for many years, and he rode the bikes, right?
Yeah,
now he's in America.
Dude, South Africans are fucking, bro. That's why I say we get along with the Australians. South Africans are crazy, bro. They'll go to Asia and starting up some nonsense, bro. They're fucking really weird kind of people, bro. We're not very smart, but we're brave and we're good at smashing things, bro. So we don't have a lot of fear, but not a lot of intelligence either.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Paul about this yesterday before class, and he was like, South Africa is like kind of what you mentioned, but he said also too, but people maybe don't see all the time or understand, is that there are some really warm people there too.
Dude,
there's some like
cool people there, man. The South African people are some of the coolest people, man. They're they're awesome, bro. But it's just the problem is the same problem most countries have, bro. Bad government and a couple of bad apples, man. That's
right.
Most of the people are awesome.
Yeah, and hopefully they're trying to get it. They're trying to get it together because I know it's been like up and down. One of the coolest things was how like Nelson Mandela, when he came out of prison and he became president, that he was like, "Fuck it, let's just try to move on and try to, you know."
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody else didn't share his sentiments, man.
Right.
Yeah,
right on both sides, huh?
Yeah, well, dude, well, I mean, everybody in his party kind of, I mean, that's been the anger and everything has been lingering for the last, 30 years. They didn't really move on. He was the only one that kind of said, let's move forward, but everybody else didn't really follow his ideology or his forgiveness or saying, let's move forward type of situation. Well, in government, many other people obviously did.
I heard like people just kind of like the Israel Palestine thing. Like, even though there's the divisiveness and all that, people have to live with. They live with each other, both sides. They like intermingle and stuff like that.
Well, do you know what
yes, we're doing the South African shuffle right now,
but dude, the main thing we can conclude this is man, anywhere you go in the world, people just want to live their lives, have their families be okay, and live a good life, man. That's like 98% of the world. They just want their families to be safe and themselves to live a good life. That's all they really care about.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I want, man. Just simple. That's why the China thing and Taiwan thing is so stupid in a way. I mean, easy for me to say, but like people, I'm sure both sides. I've only been to China once, but I know here people just want to live their life. They do, you know. But you got to hear all this crazy shit, especially coming from the West. Like about the people call me all the time to they think there's actually a war going on and stuff. Like a physical war. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably a Cold War and all that, but yeah. Like, also, what about, dude, speaking of New York, bring it back, were you actually born in New York?
No, I was born out here in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, but then you went to the Jersey section, huh?
Yeah, tri-state area my whole life.
Yeah. But do you have stories of going to New York though? Like, have some interesting things?
Nah, interesting. Just when I was a kid, living with my aunts and shit, going out, like it was normal. Like I didn't experience no craziness out there when I was a kid.
Yeah. Everything. So everything, dude. Your story is amazing though to me, and the narrative is like how, like, what an OG. I mean, you still are in a sense, even though you're Kato Kalin today. No, I was kidding. But like how like you fucking like transforming your life, bro. You know, and if you can give advice to somebody, what would it be?
Man, I think it would be to ask questions and to look into things for yourself, and not just I mean to accept things that you hear. You know what I'm saying? It's good to always go check it out further, dig into stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dig into things, because we're surprised at the lies that have been passed down, even through families, through family beliefs.
Families, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even like it's just things that you have to find out for yourself. You know, we're all on our own journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's up to us to be in charge of which way to steer the ship. You feel me?
Yeah.
Very important that you make sure this, if you're gonna get information, that the sources are good. Are vetted and they did their due diligence. If you're just getting info and it's just pulled out of nowhere, you need to be able to discern between it.
Yeah, it's also like finding the same information from sources that are not even related to each other, that
cross-reference
that all point to the same conclusion.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah. That's probably why you like. Is it also like you were studying psychedelics before, and then you were like, fuck it, I want to just do it. It's, like there's the one thing there's theory and then there's practice.
No, what happened was I knew someone that was going through near-death experiences from suffering from pancreas problems and stuff like that. So I was interested in the near-death experience. So I started looking into those, and as I started looking into near-death experiences, I came across the talks saying that psychedelics can invoke out-of-body experiences and near-death experiences on the same level, astral projection, all that stuff. So I didn't know that before, and then I started looking into trip reports, and I started looking into philosophers that were, I came across Terence McKenna. I came across all these things, all the correct, you know what I mean? I studied first, and then when I got through all the Terence McKenna 5 dried grams lessons and all the, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? I want to even go. First trip I ever took, I took 7 grams.
Damn,
so
first trip?
Yeah, first one was 7, just because I wanted to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to leave no slack. I didn't want to leave no slack.
I was like, nah, I don't. I want the full effect. I want to have this Terrence McKenna experience.
You're trying to break open the head, like
I
no
wasn't playing.
buffering over there, bro. No buffer room, bro.
7 grams, dog?
Yeah, I was
First time.
Yeah, first one was 7 grammers, bro. I wasn't playing. I was trying to get this Terrence McKenna popping. I was already.
You took more than him.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the way to go, man. Sometimes.
Yeah. What's the highest, most you took that you know?
The highest I took in is 30 grams straight. 30 grams.
Holy shit, bro. That's almost poison levels, bro. You can poison yourself with that.
Nah. To poison yourself, it's milligram per kilogram. You have to ingest. If I weighed 210 pounds, I have to ingest 210 grams of mushrooms in one sitting. And in order to get,
but can we say that you can break your mind though?
No,
kill your mind. That's possible.
Mushrooms is not that likely, dude. So Mystery Ozo, because that makes sense. Because the thing is, I've had a friend that's taken 800 mics of LSD.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Which is, dude, that's insane. It's insane doses, bro. Like, yeah, that you can break your brain with, but I think like 30 G's of mush, it's just gonna be intense, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's intense.
You come back for it, you're saying?
Yeah, I was tripping for like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, the first day I went through it, I wasn't even tripping that long. I was like 4 hours gone. Didn't know where the fuck I went. And then when I came back, I was for 3 days like seeing peacock feathers on the walls and shit for 3 days. Like, there was like an audience. There was some entities eating popcorn watching me.
Like Michael Jackson.
Just watching me.
Really?
Doing just it was intense. But it's crazy. Like, it's levels, I guess, to this stuff. You know what I mean? The ayahuasca didn't have anything on mushrooms. The 30 grams of mushrooms allowed me to gauge a lot of things. When I took my ayahuasca, it was like taking less than 10 grams of mushrooms. 10 grams of mushrooms will give you a better experience than ayahuasca. Like, it's like, what, man? Like, it's like people are very they'll follow the leader type of thing. Like, listen to people talking about, Mother Aya and Mother Aya, and you gotta go to Peru and you gotta do this and you gotta take this and that. And it's like, you could do the same thing with 15 grams of shroomies, guaranteed.
Yeah, but man, it also depends what ayahuasca you're taking, right? Because it's the same thing with DMT, right? If you do the MEO, MEO 5?
Yeah, MEO inhibitor. Oh wait, you're talking about 10? You're talking about the DMT. The different type of DMT,
which is the heavy version of it, right? So it's the same thing.
What's up, Dennison?
It's called Changa.
Pharma.
So Changa.
I did Pharma and I did Changa too. I did both.
Yeah, because Changa's not that heavy. That's the when
that's more
smoking
chill, huh?
DMT.
Yeah, smoked it.
And then ayahuasca is the mix, right? The tea.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's how I ingested my DMT. I had yellow DMT, I had white DMT, and I had pink DMT. I took the white DMT.
Pink?
Yes. The yellow, white, and pink. Yes. Both, all three. So this white one, I melted that shit in lasagna layers with weed in the pipe, and I had my
sandwich.
Yeah, I had some deep ass psychedelic experiences off of DMT like that, and I've also had pharmahuasca, which is they take you know what I mean? They take the DMT.
Syrian roux.
Yeah, and they make it all with the, with the DMT and shit.
Yeah.
Pharma. And then I've had the DMT, the Aya made with the leaf.
You got the regular Aya?
Yeah. So shrooms is like between 15 and 20 grams, 15 and 20 grams is what ayahuasca is. But shrooms is bottomless. Shrooms have no end.
There's like no cap on it.
No cap.
Where you can go.
Exactly like the background, the periscope of you watching right now in the back of your that it just keeps going. There's no end to it. There's platforms on every one of those dots. There's levels. There's alien life. There's planetary things. The history, like stuff that's in there, things that are irrelevant to our existence, and it's in there deep, and it goes deeper to the point that it's like who knows? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously dose dependent, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, the mystery or do I call you NPC or Gabriel, man?
Whatever you like. Gabriel's sufficient. Cool. Like
All right,
NPC,
man.
whatever.
Yeah.
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 So, have any of you ever done smoked salvia?
Oh no, I've
Mm,
seen
Fuck,
the
bro, that's
like the
intense.
salts, the bath
yeah.
salts with like smoke fry brains. Like it's like
No, 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 not bath
But
salts.
salvia, yeah.
Salvia
But
is a
salvia though, like
plant.
I thought one time I took it. Somebody put it in the bong, but I don't know. But I like you say, like, dude, this one thing that Justin, our friend Dimitri, talks about salvia is, and I've heard other people say this, and we'll give your story, Chris. Is like it sounds like sometimes you're on a stage, like you're either on the stage or you're sitting in the audience, and like everyone you ever known or will know is up there, and like anyway,
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. But what do you got to
Yeah,
say
so
about that,
so
Chris?
so the thing is that I know is also a common thing a lot of people say is, dude, if you get real proper salvia, it looks kind of like weed, man. And you hit a little bit in the bong, and then obviously the my homies that I did it with said, if you gotta put, you gotta be careful because you completely lose control of your body, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the truth, man. I mean, you go limp, you're out once it hits. So, but man, that was the craziest initial. It's not like other psychedelics where it starts kicking in. I mean, that was from being on this planet to feeling like some ethereal entity
Mm-hmm.
grabs you and just throws you into fucking space, bro. It feels like something just or you're sitting in a slingshot and it just goes
Mm.
off and it flings you into space, bro. It's
It's
whole
chaos.
other level. Yeah, it's just you're gone, bro. You're fucking gone.
Yeah.
You're completely gone, and then you come back into your body.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it seems like it's the most chaotic thing. Eh? How,
Yeah.
how would you say the difference between salvia and DMT? Because I get
Uh,
the catapult. I felt the catapult
I
of
think they're similar.
DMT.
Me too.
I think
Uh huh.
Sylvia's time displacement is worse. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, with
yeah.
enough. I
I
mean,
forgot about that
I've
part.
heard, yeah, I've heard people have a 28-minute, 20-minute, 28, 30-minute trip, but while they were
Uh,
tripping, inside of their trip, they experienced 11 years of
yeah,
life.
yeah. I got that on my other channel where Ozo and I do we do all the interviews and stuff about it. Like the guy was a Mormon at the time on Christmas. He smoked it, and then in his basement, his brother's basement, and when he woke up in a boat on a lake. And then they're like, "Oh, you were drowning and all this shit." And they're like, "Oh, no, no, no." And then, anyway, they get to the shore. He ends up having a wife and kids
Yeah,
in this light. And like you said, it was in a totally different state.
yeah.
And then he had a whole like going to work, and he was only gone for like 15 minutes, but it was like you said, like 12 years that
Yeah,
passed.
yeah. So and it's when
Yeah.
people recollect that they experienced every hour of every day of those 11 years, and then you come back and you fucking don't know what just happened. You look at your watch and you're like, that was 30 minutes. What the fuck just happened? And it's a bit of a brain buster right there compared to a
What
lot of
is that,
other
dog?
things.
Chris and Ozo, what is going on?
Um,
You think?
bro, science can't wrap it like so. Science, like so. I was gonna say this earlier. Like my family dragged me around from church to church. You know what I'm saying? When I was a
Mm-hmm.
kid. So, um, I I never experienced any religious or or anything like like my family. I've seen them do things like I've seen my aunt pray and people get better and all type of stuff. I've seen weird stuff like that and but I never heard entity speaking to me in my ear or anything. I never heard a microphone turn on. I never heard so nothing, no voice, no nothing, not nothing. So um boom, my whole life. Then I took mushrooms when I went through this stage of listening to these out of body experiences this
Mm-hmm.
person was having, and then when I took the shrooms, now shrooms, there's things in science. I always went to science. Science was science was debunked a lot though through these mushrooms. Now the um you look at things and there's things moving now. Everything's moving, just like reality says. Science says that everything, there's molecules. Things are. You see these molecules on everything. When you're on shrooms, you look at anything, you see the molecules moving. You know, nothing's solid, like they say. Everything is like, or until you touch it, and then it's solid, and whatever's going on. You see these things with your own eyeballs. You experience them. You don't just listen to what they're talking about on paper and literature and whatever they're talking about. You experience this shit. So you you go through these things, and I don't know how to explain how science collaborates a lot of these experiences. And when I took these mushrooms, now I'm looking at things, and I ask a question, and the answer is given to me, like the people talk about in church. I've never had this happen to me in church, though. But in the mushrooms, I'm looking at something outside, or something wiggling, or an ant, or a bug, or a tree, or anything, and you ask questions, or reality questions, or things, how do they work? And it's like, holy shit, you get these downloads and these expansive answers.
So it's talking to you?
Yeah, but it's not a voice. No voice. It's
okay.
It's an automatic, like
you just know, huh?
No, it's not even annoying. It's like you always knew, but it's not like you know it either. It's like you get the answers right there in front of your face, given to you, like presented to you, like disrespectfully, like a broadcast system, like just
yeah, like we see things on the broadcast system.
The thing is, drugs are like the cheat codes. They're the AB up, you know, of life.
Yeah, down, left, right, Contra.
Yeah, so but the thing is, that's why I say, as with age, I realize the distinction between that. The difference is with the psychedelic experiences and some of these cheat codes. That's the difference with religion and practice, right? The one makes life better, and the other one is a short glimpse into this like chaotic nature of life. But where the one is this very visceral experience, the kind of why I'm now religious, and that is, it actually makes life as a whole better, your actual reality better. You know, with these trips, you get thrown out, you get this download, you get this experience, but you come back and life is just the same as it was, right? I mean, your mind is influenced, but life itself in general is the same way, where, you know, the religious practices, being kind, doing these things in your day-to-day life, which isn't this insane experience of heightened sensory experiences or things happening to you, but it's more meaningful in the whole. Which is interesting. So one is kind of a shorter, delayed, general improving of life, and the other one is this, you know, short, almost the orgasm experience. It's just a quick couple of seconds of something amazing, and then you're just back in normal life again.
Yeah, they tried to debrief and relate it to your waking life.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Because we, like, even though these things are amazing, we know that isn't, in the terms of justifying how real it is or not, right? We can have a whole discussion about that, but in the sense of, you know, that experience, even if it was real or not real or whatever the case may be, it was 30 minutes or it was a day, right? And then you move on, but then you come back to the actual reality or base reality, right? Which is where life is actually taking place. So, and I mean, you can't just forever stay in that state, right? That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I wonder about that. People would want that. Would you want that, Ozo? Like, to be like that all the time?
Check this out. There is this movie that came out called The Discovery. The movie came out like in 2017, I don't know, but it's called The Discovery. This movie talks, they put on these sensors, and they discovered that, you know,
hi Markella, good to see you.
They could see your dreams and see you know what I mean? You could go to sleep at night and watch your dreams like a movie. And they figured out that when the person, at one point in the movie, somebody was connected to this thing, they die, and when they were cleaning the person up, whatever, they thought the movie was going to end up stopping because the person brain dead. The movie stops. They're cleaning up, they're doing some stuff, and the movie started playing again. So then they were like, "Oh, what's this? Why is the movie still playing? This guy's dead." And then they're watching, and they figured out that the person was dead, and that the movie was showing their new life where they started after they finished from this life. They went and they woke up in another life. Like, oh, I just had a dream that I died. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but anyways, the point of what I was saying is that I wish that I could show like trip reports that I've had so many, so many of them, like just the one that I told you before. I remember if I told you, I've told them so many of them because I've had so many of them that it's like it's out of control. But
imagine you could record that like a stream.
I know.
Yeah,
insane.
Just to see it, just to watch the video footage of it. So there's no anchors in my descriptions. So it's like I was in this place, like I was in another place, like I don't know. I was obviously in another somewhere. I was looking around, and I was obviously what I was seeing was I was in a bug, there was a fly on the wall, and I was inside of this fly's brain space, and I was looking through his eye sockets, and I was inside of his brain, and I could see the fly's thoughts, and I watching through the eyeballs of this fly, and I'm looking at a living room space, but it was alien to ours. And there was two beings in there, alien to human, but they had limbs. They had, I would say, watches, like some type of good jewelry, like some type of
accessories and stuff.
Accessories to say that they were not just, they were some type of beings. So, and they were kind of in our shape, like star shape.
So they're humanoid.
Humanoid, kind of star shape, kind of. So, as I'm in this fly's brain, I don't know why I was in the fly's brain or why I was watching the fly's thoughts of it, but I seen the fly have a moment where it realized that the two beings conversating were speaking language, and that they were conversating, and that they were communicating, and he was seeing more than him just flying around looking for food. It was realizing that these beings were intelligent, and as soon as it had this thought, I watched from inside the fly's brain of an explosion happen of the Big Bang, boom, and I watched our reality being formed, and our existence in Earth and all that shit, and we came from the thought inside of a bug on the wall, watching some things that were communicating. Yo, it was like.
Puts us into small perspective.
Yo, the biggest perspective possible. Like it was like, yo, why does the shrooms do this to a person?
I think, like, how can we bring that back? Because that's pretty epic, man. That's surreal, man. Like, how can we relate it to like a lesson here, like that, knowing that like something so small and kind of insignificant to us humans, a lot of times, like a fly, could have actually been the spark of the reverse singularity to our universe. You know?
Yeah.
What is that? Man, that shows me that like we're so Zen always comes back. Like we're so epic as humans, but we're also
we just laugh. But this
normal.
is the stuff that we laugh at.
Not, you know.
I laughed. After I just laughed, like that's hilarious. Like what? Like you feel me? Like this is the things, and the shrooms allow you to sit there and cackle like an audience member, member watching a movie in the movie theater. You're just cackling away at the scene of this epic.
Well, but that's the thing, right? It's also the fact of, you know, like
you're right.
I'll said, eventually you kind of just realize that the endless searching becomes pointless. It's an act in futility, right? Ultimately, it's the best thing to do is just kind of sit back, reflect, and laugh, man, and just carry on with your life. You know, that's the whole point, right? Otherwise, it's the whole thing of going down the rabbit hole. Eventually, you climb out, and you're like, "Fuck, this hole just doesn't end. I'm over that. Just gonna carry on with life." You know.
No, I see that because where I'm at now, literally, is put me in a I put myself in a situation where that's psychedelics and even weed, which I love. It's being from Cali, like it's not in my, you know, circle of influence now. So I haven't.
Can you not allowed to smoke by that side, right?
No, not at all. But people still do
Yeah.
it. Expats do it all the time, and locals. The cops are the
But
ones allegedly.
Yeah, but you
sell
probably
it.
get horrible bud that side.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's horrible, bud. They'll give you a headache allegedly, and it's way overpriced.
Yeah,
Especially
I'm
coming from
sure.
Cali, Northern Cali.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, and also too, it's actually fit my situation in life perfectly. Me being like a husband and a father, and have a
Yeah.
career and all that. Like, don't get me wrong. You could probably do that stuff as maybe I couldn't though, because the way I was rolling in America, bruh, I needed to slow down a bit. I know people say it's just weed, but for some of us, it's a big thing, man. It's a big
No,
thing.
no,
Sometimes
man.
we need to step
Yeah.
away, and I did here. And it's and it goes back to what you were saying about what you were saying about, and I'll do my take on it. I truly believe now, of all the books and places I've been and cool people I've talked to, that the highest level of consciousness is doing good, being good, trying to be acts of service for people, and at least the way I
Yeah.
see it. Now, it doesn't mean it's for everybody, but that being a good person, decent person, that's high
Man,
level.
I've even explained it to in a way, right? That I've even like you mentioned it when I came in, but with the debates and stuff, I've even done an argument for this for people that have no religious, spiritual, no nothing. So the argument to that would be, well, why should you do good things? So ultimately, you doing good things, right? Influences other people's lives. So you make a difference in other people's lives. So it's
Right.
probably one of the only things that you can leave behind when you move on or when
Your
you
legacy.
pass away. Yeah. You're imprinting yourself into other people's lives and changing.
Remember I
other
said that
people's
about
lives for the better.
Right. Just to add on real quick and go, like, that's why I tell that story about my father-in-law that I've never met. Yet his presence, his legacy lives on through his children that I love, and his students, his grad students, and all that, bro. It's amazing, bro. That's how strong that motherfucker was.
Yo,
Respectfully.
let me give you my take real quick. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson explains about PlayStation and
Some Godheart,
PlayStation
all
and
seeing
Grand Theft Auto, right? So that thing that I told you about the bug and the the thought of it seeing something, and realizing consciousness and realizing language and realizing beings that have that they all the abilities that those beings had in the thought spark created our existence. So in the thing like the matrix of the game system, the console of video disc that is open world game that is Neil deGrasse Tyson explains, if you give them consciousness in Grand Theft Auto, and the singularity, and now you go into the game, go find in one of those buildings a lab that's talking about science, that they're doing something that they find in the crack of, well, go find whatever, and when you go in there and you see the scientists, they're finding that they're scratching the surface of their reality, and they're realizing that their reality is based off ones and zeros. Just like our reality is based off ones and zeros, they say, when they did the big with this, the hydra lighter and all this other shit that they're finding. Our shit is ones and zeros and some more shit. And so I don't know what to really go with what they're talking about. But what I'm saying is, my point of view is, just like in the Grand Theft Auto, and just like that bug explosion in his mind, if our reality and in the reality, if you're in Grand Theft Auto, if you was to go find out the source and scratch to the ones and zeros, go to the poles, I guess, go to the ice wall, find out there's ones and zeros, and then crack through that ones and zeros, find out the electricity is coming from some source inside of this machine that you find the city, which is all the circuit board. There's this city that's empty with no bodies in it. It's just electrical, like Egypt type of buildings and all that stuff, full of circuitry and stuff we find. So they would get to eventually the power source of the electric plug, leading to all the electricity coming from the poles, and that's like space travel, not even finding the damn electric coming from the poles and from the electric wall and finding all this electricity, to let alone find the creator who made the game, the writers of the game, let alone who's the creator of the console. Like, you feel me? Like, it's so deep and bananas beyond our scope.
Well, I can tell you where this rabbit hole ends, right? Philosophy has
It's wild, man.
because that's the thing, right? Because you have to remember, all of these philosophers were also tripping on psychedelics, bro. So they've just relayed it in a almost in a scholarly way, or
Yeah.
intellectual manner. So where the rabbit hole ultimately ends up, the ones and the zeros, the source code of it all, is if you delve into metaphysics, you ultimately end up, most of us will, most people will say, well, it is God, right? That's the whole end point, is the eternal, uncreated. But the thing is, how you get to that, the ones and the zeros of it all ultimately boils down to the regularity of nature, the laws of the universe. So, because without things like time,
Natural
that's
law.
also why you guys spoke about it, right, with the old gods, time, space, these things. So time, truth, knowledge, these metaphysical concepts are the source code of it all, because without these things nothing could exist, right? Without the metaphysical concepts, the regularity of nature, these kind of things, right? You don't even get matter without these things, you know? It's
Yeah.
got to be the observed before there is a duration of time, before time can exist, right? So you need all of these pre metaphysical concepts for anything physical to exist. So ultimately, in those, inherently, you will find your ones and zeros, the source code of it all.
Yeah. That's the context of the foundation of
The
all of it.
foundation that makes it all
Yeah.
possible, right?
Right. I
So
think I don't know what you would call it, but maybe this goes along with Bridget. When you're talking about the black goo or the dark matter, Ozo. Remember we talked about that before?
Yeah. It's like
It's everywhere.
I thought I explained to one
It
time. I was
permeates
telling,
everything.
it feels like to me it might be dark matter that's all around us, and it's in everything and on everything, and you can see it when you're on psychedelics. You can see the dark matter moving.
Ones and zeros.
You can see it moving.
Yeah.
And what all seeing guy, I wanted to say on your previous one, man, Arrowhead's the shit. I remember checking that out as a kid,
Oh
bro.
yeah,
That's
you
where
got
we
that.
got that's where we got all our info from. Arrowhead has always been an
Arrowhead.com,
amazing
yeah.
source. Yeah, it's a base source if you want to learn about anything relating to drugs. But yeah, man, the whole mushrooms Terence McKenna thing is way more even coherent than saying evolution fucking caused all life on this planet. At least that's a more coherent theory than just saying it spawned out of fucking chaos, bro. It's I
Right.
always dude, I've fought the mainstream thing of evolution so much where I'm like, dude, how, bro, how does anything that you've witnessed just randomly spawn out of nothing? That is the most incoherent, retarded thing you could say. It's like seeing a treehouse out in nature. You come upon a treehouse built only out of organic things.
So like
it's
Minecraft.
clockwork. It's the better version of the clockmaker argument, because that's a fucking stupid argument. You can do it better. But the treehouse in the middle of the woods that's made out of logs, there's nothing inorganic or pointing to humans, but you see a fucking treehouse. Do you think that just happened, or something caused that to happen?
This is what I think about when McKenna would say. I keep talking about McKenna, but fuck it. Like this is like when he would say like most people, I guess Hawkins, or we'll say Stephen Hawkins, like there has to be a metaphysical like point in your evolution, in your theory of life, we'll say, like existology, right? Most of us growing up as Western people in science, it's the beginning, the Big Bang, right?
Well,
right,
I mean,
because like they can't really explain that, but it makes sense. I'll say God. I have no problem saying that, the Most High,
but see,
whatever.
that's the thing.
But
It's even the high level science guys, dude. Like you just said, they say, grant me one miracle, and I can explain the universe to you.
Yeah.
But everybody
McKenna's
needs
is
that
at the
one
end,
miracle.
the singularity.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have at least one, and yeah. And I guess if you only have one, that's that clockmaker thing. Like, okay, the Most High made everything, and he sit back with his arms back on his gaming chair, watching everything, or doing something else. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? We all hold to one miracle, whether it's science or religion or anything, and it's, ultimately all of the religious, spiritual people ultimately boil down to, God. And then because it's still, the problem is with the science guys, even when you get to, okay, well, the Big Bang theory, unfortunately, they still, that whole theory can't coherently explain metaphysical concepts either. So that's the problem with that, right? If you have matter condensed to the size of a pinhead, it means you had matter. So, and then what caused it to condense? It's like, now, well, it's heat. Okay, where did the heat come? It's like, dude, you guys are not starting from the start, unfortunately. The start requires that one miracle, the eternal, the uncreated, the something,
it's a
the
miracle,
source
like even
of the code.
right. Even in there, like even if they're atheists per se, scientists, they still give you that miracle. They may not want to call it that, but it's definitely a miracle, man.
No, it's definitely, dude. If it's even, I think Jim Barber has done this, where he tells them, he's like, here's the definition of a miracle. And then you go, well, this fits in that definition. Even then, they're like, no, it's
I know
they don't want to
so
grant
attached.
that it's a miracle, bro. They don't want to grant it.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay, buddy. God, get over it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a
Baby
contradiction to call it a miracle that shit happened, bro.
Yeah, that's what science is allowed, that one miracle for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's a point. We give the scientists their one miracle, and then the religious people say, well, yeah, ours is just God then. It's the same thing, but ultimately there is no coherent way to not have that, unfortunately. There has got to be that one, bro. There's
one.
You need the one miracle, otherwise none of it makes sense. You can't explain any of it.
Yeah. The world is like, it's wild too. Whether you're a hardcore 7-day evangelist or a Tibetan monk, like or atheist that believes in Jungian psychology, synchronicity. Like, if you pay attention to the world, man, it's magical, man. And I don't think that's a stress or anything.
Finding
a stretch
all the time, right? There's new species of bugs and ants and animals in the ocean, like new that they never have seen before, that they never. And there's theories on all type, and mostly theories. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're saying that some of these things could come on asteroids, like bugs and stuff like that. So if those things could come from asteroids, anything could be spawned. Everything is life. The oceans above us, is just life floating through the cosmos. Everything is life, particles, things. You know what I mean? Stuff everywhere. There's something.
I heard some girl saying on some show, like, I'm bored or something. I was like, how can you be bored, man? I mean, if you're bored, don't blame it on somebody else. That's on you.
Yeah. Well, dude, you can. That's the thing, right? That's well, I don't want to be rude or none of that, but like, are you dumb? Like, you gotta be dumb, dude. I've met well, like, but on a different level of dumb. It might not even be intellectually dumb, but you gotta be dumb to be bored.
Yeah,
man. I've met very non-smart people that could sit and they just like, clapping on their legs or starting to rhyme, making a beat, or sitting thinking about
that's a form of intelligence.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Like, how can you ever be bored, bro? Like, how can you ever truly be bored? Nowadays, it's become different, right? We're inundated with technology and constant
That's why the kids get bored. Adults, not just kids, but adults.
Yeah, but if you break it down to, especially those of us that are older, there is no such thing as actually being bored, man. It's I don't want to say lazy, but
that's what used to come up with me. That's what I would say, because I like how you're not trying to, like, well, at least it seems like to me you're not trying to, like, put people down in a sense, but like that's the closest word I get, Chris.
Yeah,
so it's like laziness.
Because I want to say lazy, but lazy is also not the right word. It's a lack of motivation, I would say, is the same thing. Or it's almost it would boil more down to your emotional state, right? Because if you it becomes you're annoyed. You're annoyed in a moment of non entertainment or some kind of stimuli happening to you. But in that sense, you can go into your mind and run through a process. Like I said, you could write a song in your head, or you could think about what you need to do tomorrow, start planning your day. Like, how can you ever truly be bored? It's more of an emotional state that you're in, of annoyance, then boredom. Boredom
Yeah.
doesn't really exist.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it because even like at quote unquote work, it's really not boring when I'm totally present. But it's like when
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
thinking, my mind is drifting because of an emotional state. Either
Well,
that's
when you're
happening
bored,
presently or somewhere else. That's what the boredom is. What's that?
yeah, well, the boredom is usually you just being annoyed, right? You're like, I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
It's not the
actually
right
a
language
thing.
for it.
Yeah. Or frustration or something almost. Frustration or annoyance or uncomfortability in what's happening right now that causes you to be like, well, I'm bored. I want to do something else.
Right, like somebody's like coming in here on the panel or in the chat, and they're like listening. They're like, okay, then we switch the subject or something. And then they go, oh, I'm bored, but really, it's just like, nah, just not feeling it.
Yeah, you're not
Because it
engaged
probably
in
if
the
you really,
moment.
yeah, because it's probably if someone in the chat, for example, is feeling that and they left, it'd be like if they actually listen like wholeheartedly and with
Yeah.
they probably would get something out of it. Some
Well,
type of
you kind of said it well. Kind of is just being engaged in that moment, dude. Where
mm-hmm.
the thing is, I've sat in front of a fire outside in nature. No sounds, no nothing. You just sitting staring into the fire, looking at the fire, not thinking. I'm just staring at the
Mm-hmm.
fire. That was fucking awesome. It wasn't. I wasn't
Yeah,
bored in that moment.
right.
I was staring at the fire. That's you don't require like there's never really anything that can cause you to be bored as long as you're engaged in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm. That's like the biggest thing I've learned in the last couple of years, and it was like, it's funny because it's someone that like I overlooked years before, like the dude that wrote the book called Supermind, Vernon Howard. He passed away now, but like that's
Yeah.
his thing always. He's a Christian and all, but he's always saying that in order to get closest to God, you have to be totally engaged in what you're doing, and
Yeah.
not like. And then my attitude is not like added to it. In my own words, is it's not being so focused on like having this persona of like never failing or never wanting to take the L or look stupid, which we spend a lot of our awareness, some of us anyway, spend a lot of our awareness doing that and worrying about what others are thinking so much that we're not engaged in the moment where the true heaven is. Could be,
Yeah,
so
I drifted that off long ago. It got beat out of me, bro. I don't have an ego or any of that. I like being silly and making people laugh and fucking around.
mm-hmm. Yeah. That's even your cat seems eccentric. Good way.
Dude,
That's
the cat is 19 years old, bro, and like 70% deaf. So when she mows super loud, bro.
super loud. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Oh, so what's your pups doing right now? What, do you take a nap or what?
Yeah, he's passed out.
Passed out. Yeah.
He passed out.
Yeah. Oh, those exotics. Those dogs are like fucking like moggers. Studs. They're studs.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Nah, NPC Gabriel, man. I
Yeah.
just wanted to come jump up and show some love and come say what's up to you fellas. I probably need to go feed the cat and go do some
Yeah.
stuff now.
Hey, I appreciate it because I've seen you, dude. I've seen you win your I've seen you win the verbal combat, which is ain't no easy feat, multiple
Fuck,
times.
bro. Dude,
And
I now kind of need to stop a little bit because I'm the fucking person that's won it the most now. I won last week, so now I'm at 10 wins already.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man, that's wild. That's why it's cool though. Like you being like that even builds to your legend because like when I saw you there, I got kind of like not now I know I'm the shit and shit, but it's like oh shit, that's Chris Lestrange.
Oh, man.
Like I'm glad you
No,
came
I
up here, bro.
appreciate
You're
it.
very personable. And you got a lot
No,
you have a
thanks,
lot
man.
to add. That was fun, bro.
No,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Do you have
Yeah,
anything coming up
I
on your channel?
No, I wanted to say I like these discussions, man, and I also knew about you. Obviously, everybody was speaking about you with the Panelverse Awards and all of that.
Yeah.
So even I think back then is when I followed you, and I was like, I just always for some reason missed your streams, or sometimes I would log in, but I won't type in chat. So when I saw you now and had a second, I was like, you know what? Let me officially just come say what's up and pay my respects. You know.
Perfect, and I appreciate you doing that. See, guys, look, all it takes is like jumping on, having the courage. It was my partner in crime here, Ozo, who I have mad respect for, man. Yeah, because
Yeah, it was good
he gets
chatting to him
after it.
too.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you guys.
You ever seen Sassy the Sasquatch, yo, on the Big Les show official?
Yeah, I know Big Les, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Australians.
man. Sassy the Sasquatch is official. So many episodes that reminds me of my trip with the Sasquatch and all that shit.
Yeah.
Thing like that, dude.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get into that next time. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. What's your cat's name, Chris?
The cat's name is Ava, but on the channel she's known as Death Cat, bro.
Death Cat.
Death Cat, bro. So
Yeah.
the law from the fucking chat has become that it's Death Cat, and
Death Cat. All right.
She has a the fucking cat has a sawn-off shotgun, buys weapons from Canada, and abuses me to get kibbles, bro. So that's why I
My
scream,
cat.
because the
From
cat's
Canada,
sitting
of all
next to me
places.
with a shotgun, bro, forcing me to make money for kibble.
Wow.
Crazy, dog. Hey, man, if
Bro.
you'd be like, call the police. Yeah. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think my third stream I did, like when I was trying to figure out this shit, the cat kicked over coffee on the laptop. And then it was the chat was
man.
saying, yeah, well, they paid the cat to do that. I was like, you fuckers trying to keep an African down, have these commie conspiracies going on. He paid the cat in crypto, and it became a whole thing, bro. So now the cat is apparently abusing me and controlling me. That's why it's always yelling at me.
You
bro.
guys seen Love, Death, Robots?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
love
man.
Death
Yeah, it's a
Cat.
good show.
Yeah, the cat with the devil. That was hilarious, yo.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
this is it, huh?
They have an episode with the
in the
cat and the
background. I
devil.
was playing that.
Hilarious.
Here he is, right here. Like this is from the show in the background.
Yeah.
That cat, yeah.
Yeah, the cat and the devil. That just
There he is.
Yeah, the cat. Yo, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that from the newer ones? I think
Yeah.
That's from the new one.
I've only watched the first 2 seasons.
It came out 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
Fuck, man. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Ozo was
streaming
telling me
and-
about this shit.
Streaming and trying to, stay up to date with the news and everything for my debates and stuff, man. I gotta read so much. I can't watch movies or shows anymore, bro. It's fucking quite
Right.
sad.
So you do the whole thing. You also love movies too. That's great. Yeah.
Dude, I used to work in movies, bro. That's what I did for a living. I was a special
Really?
effects artist. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
More
did
lore.
prosthetics and special effects, man. So I've worked on a lot, bro. I did Mad Max Fury Road, Resident Evil movies.
Wait. That's one of my all-time favorites right there.
Yeah,
That movie
man,
was
so I did-
intense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have my old life as a fucking artist in film. I had quite a fucking badass CV, man. I did it for like 10 years.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fucking dope, man.
Yo, the most
man, so-
psychedelic joint I seen recently was called Scavenger's Reign.
It's a good one.
Scavenger's
Yeah,
Reign.
Scavenger's Reign. Oh man, that thing was that's a you guys got to
Is
get
that like a show or
it's
movie?
it's a show on one of these maybe Netflix has it. It's called Scavenger's Reign. It's all these episodes of humans that went to space and some things happened to them on another planet, and it's all
Oh yeah.
it's like on some
They have
psychedelic.
season 2 right now.
Yo,
Oh yeah. This is it. We talked about this one.
yeah, that's something you got to
Yeah.
do like watch it and then do a like talk about it, like you know what I mean?
Talk about it. Yeah, we should. Next time we come, let's see this. Make sure we see this shit. This one, Chris.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
part of it right there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy,
a psychedelic. I don't know. That's part of the new season or something. That's crazy.
That's the new season. Yeah,
Yeah, that's out of pocket. Yeah, it's out of pocket.
it's on Netflix
That
too.
looks cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that looks
Let's get this man out of here. He has the shotgun
Alright,
to his head.
Yeah, let me go. Bro,
Death
probably
cat.
gotta go do verbal combat again later as well.
All right.
So yeah, you fellas have a good one. Thank you a lot, NPC. Thanks for having me up, man. Mystery Oza, good meeting you guys.
All right, man.
Absolutely, Chris Lestrange, legend, guys. Check him out. All right. Well, don't be a stranger, brother.
No. Well, I'm just always so fucking busy, man. Don't have a
Yeah.
lot of time. But whenever
Fucking
I'm
take a
able to
vacation
go-
too.
No, fuck no. I gotta, bro. Life is rough over here. Cause there's no time to stop. So, but whenever I
Right.
can, I'll definitely see y'all again, man.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers,
Have a good
cheers.
night. Cheers. Yeah. Nice, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, he's a legend. They have this thing called verbal. This creator named Speakeasy. he has this thing called verbal combat where it's like Mortal Kombat. The whole setup looks like the video game, but it's the panels, and they debate topics and stuff. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty crazy how you can win money. It's pretty crazy how he won that many because it's just some heavy hitters on that. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's just knowledgeable, man. Just knows a lot.
Yeah,
digs into his shit.
He ain't no snob though, too. Because usually, like I have to admit, like some of the ones I think that some of those guys, those debate bros, they could be seen as kind of snobbish or whatever, but he was super personable. That was cool, man.
Yeah,
it was good. Yeah. NPC's little man. Yeah, Ben was cute. He's cute. He's 7 years old now. Yeah. Mystery Olsen got a grown man. So yeah, that's a trip, right? Do you remember when your son was like this?
Yeah. My son's 26 now.
Damn. Ozo. Everybody wish Ozo a happy birthday month, kind of, even though it was at the end of April. Yeah. So, Ozo, dude, what else you got going on this weekend?
Man, chilling, man. I'm definitely gonna catch up on that Scavenger's Reign season 2.
Yeah, now that's what All Seeing is saying. He's like, "What cartoon was that?" Yo, here you go. It's called Scavenger's Reign. I put that in there for you.
Yeah.
This is. I'm glad you reminded us. Because remember that season 2, but I remember season 1. I used the clip before where where it was using that pod and it had the little guy in there, but that was a different one. This is one I just showed.
That's a new version.
It's a little different, huh?
Yeah, it's a new version. I got to see that.
It's a new version.
Crazy.
You're crazy, though, in a good way.
Out of pocket.
You're built different. Out of pocket, like what you say. It's disrespectful. I mean, I be getting my lingo from different places. That's the best one. It's disrespectful.
It is. Just crazy. Leaves you with there's not too many things you can watch that you just slightly open your mouth a little bit in awe, like what the fuck? Like that's one of them.
That was wild. Yeah. I'd play it more, but I don't know YouTube to do the copyright thing.
I'm just gonna go watch it. I'm just gonna definitely watch it.
Well, then this is the new one though, right here behind us. That's you said robot, was it?
Yeah. Love, Death, Robots.
Love, Death, Robot. Yeah. Volume 4. It says that's the new one. Volume. I guess there's been 4 seasons of it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just running through them all right now. I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, I went through all of them from the beginning just to watch them all to get to the new season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I just finished watching the one with the cat and the devil. And yeah, it was funny how he said the cat just getting, you know what I mean? People are sending
the cat,
do hits and shit. Yeah, the cat's over here battling the devil, and the devil's gotta do deals with the cat and shit like that. The cat's like, you know what I mean? It's hilarious, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Lizard Tree with the members. You got custom emojis. You got the NPC the game, Shadow Buddha emoji, Chapter 1, Illuminati Pyramid. We got private membership chats and stuff, and we're gonna do a private just members only live streams once a month at least. So yeah, I appreciate you for that, man. Man, woman, they, Lizard Tree. Yeah, that's cool, man. Philip, I remember Philip way back when you were asking about Viking chant at a concert or whatever. It sounds familiar. He was asking about that, about some. Have you ever experienced what was it? Viking. Yeah, because we're talking about like feeling at the concert. Oh, have you heard the Viking concert chants?
No.
And the Pilamido concert. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I specifically like if you remember back in the day, they dropped Samurai Jack.
That was dope.
I used to watch every episode like with you know what I mean. That was my shit, yo. I didn't miss a new episode of that. So when they dropped the episode of battling, finding this mountain where he heard a voice coming from, and when he got down, it was a Viking. It was a Viking. It was a Viking spirit, and I And I watched that episode, and he had to fight this Viking spirit to free him, but he didn't want to fight him because he didn't have no beef with him. So they both had different teachings, different ways. So the Japanese samurai, he didn't.
Only you have beef, you're supposed to fight somebody.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight him.
I see.
Had no reason to fight him, and this
Sounds
guy
like
was
karma.
Yeah, he needed to fight someone to fight him in order to defeat him to break the curse. So he had to. So you know
trying
what I
to
mean?
goad him.
Yeah, so he had to try to goad him. So, but this dude had
Bait
his
him,
zen. He had his zen. He was like, "Yo, you're just trying to get me to fight you. I refuse to fight you and whatever." So then he tried to. So basically, and then when he got him to fight him, and he had to fight him with his all. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't fake it. He had to fight him, and But anyways, I started digging into the whole Viking, the way they think and the way they do things, and this is prior to me taking mushrooms and stuff like that. So when I eventually started taking mushrooms, I took that with me, that Valhalla,
that mentality.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna surrender or succumb or kneel.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kneel. I'm not gonna bow. I'm not gonna, like, you gotta force me to it. Like you gotta show me you got the power to force me to do something against my will, because I'm not gonna do it.
You actually helped me when you told me that, because like a year or two later, when I allegedly did that ayahuasca, you told me that. I remember that too. There's what could have been some difficult times. I remember he's like, "Don't give in."
Yeah,
you know, like stand your ground. You know, can they respect you for it?
Pretty much. Like if you're gonna.
Bobby Hemmett says that too.
They sword fighting, and you get to the point that they chop your knee, you kneel, and you're fighting with the sword, and now a sword's coming swinging towards your head. They knock the sword out your hand, and now the sword's coming towards your head. You're not supposed to cringe or cry out or try to flinch. You're supposed to try to headbutt that sword as it's coming towards you. You're supposed to try to headbutt that shit out of your punk ass hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you're supposed to face shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, you got to meet it head on, man.
Head on, man.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I ain't subscribing, man.
Ain't subscribing. NPC emoji. That shit looks fire on the live. Yeah. So, dude, I'm gonna say anything else. I'm saying anything else on the table. I got class today. You know what we're reading in my my high school class? The book Hoot. Remember the movie Hoot that came out in the 90s? About the owls. The teenagers are trying to save the owls from being destroyed, their habitat.
Nah, I don't remember.
I never saw that. It's pretty interesting. About how these kids are like basically kind of risking their lives.
That's cool. To
save these little owls that everyone just doesn't even care about. They live in the ground.
Oh, that's cool.
They want to make a pancakes house on the top of their fucking house. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
Little ground owls.
Yeah, and then with my junior high school kids, like we're reading the book Uglies. Remember that's a Netflix show.
Yeah. I never got to see it all, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Like body image and all that, and yeah, it's pretty good, man. These Netflix shows are like next level, man.
Next level.
I'm sure Amazon Prime is good too. I don't have it, but like they're like giving the movies a run for their money. The traditional film, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I bet you a lot of the people behind the scenes are, been influenced by psychedelics at some point.
But you know what's even killing them even further is the apps that show you movies that are still in the theater.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta get on that. Yeah, I gotta start doing that, man. Yeah, you would like True that on lock, man. Yeah, shout out to True Life Stories. Wouldn't be here. What's like he wasn't with him. Shout out to Mystery Ozone building with the God Kalindi. Days in peace, man. That's wild, bro. Do you real how fire that is? How bass that is, dog?
Yeah, man.
That's wild, dude. That's like
it was a privilege, man. It was a privilege to meet him.
Yeah. I wish shout out to Black Wolf.
Shout out Black Wolf.
Yeah. Were you ever a woman? Yeah. The real Doctor Strange that. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, owls are beautiful creatures. Like they're really. That's probably why the United States government loves the symbolism in those Masonic groups because it can see in the dark, huh? That's a good metaphor, right?
Yep.
It can turn his head almost 360 degrees too, huh?
Yep.
And it's a bird of prey. Yeah. You got the eagle and the owl, which is funny enough. That's my Mayan signs. My Mayan week, Aztec Mayan week, is the totem is the owl transformer, and then the day sign is eagle. So I have affinity for both of those birds and what they represent.
You know, there's a such thing as a bird called an eagle owl, right?
No.
Yeah.
What are you telling me these things? Why didn't you tell me this before?
There's an eagle owl. He's one of the biggest owls there is. He's an eagle owl.
Eagle owl. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Eagle owl. I gotta see this. Wow. No way.
Beast.
I think I've seen this one before. Like, I didn't know it's an eagle owl. That is impressive to say the least. Look at this thing. That's not AI.
Nah, man, it's a monster truck of an owl, man. It's not a
holy.
The ridiculousness. His hands are like baseball mitts. His hands are ridiculous.
Come on, man.
He's huge. He tears everything apart. He doesn't respect any other.
Look, he can puff up 3 times bigger too.
Yeah.
That's a fat one right there. That's a
huge, bro.
Ooh, yeah.
Colors are serious, yo.
The eyes.
He looks like the
You're
owl.
right, lady. Look, they are beautiful.
He looks like the owl from The Secret of Nim.
Oh yeah, Secret of Nim for sure. Look at this. God bless the world, man. Yeah, this is
he's like a great horned owl, but look at him. He's got boots on and shit. This motherfucker's
look at go right at you. Boots.
Yeah, that thing is serious,
Thing's
man.
savage, dog.
Yeah.
That thing is savage, yeah. So yeah, they're very huge, huh?
That's the 2-in-1.
Got the Provo in the house. He's streaming.
That's the 2-in-1 right there. The eagle owl, kid.
He's live. Yeah. The 2-1, the eagle owl. I like. I'm going to be on it now, man. Yeah. Do you have any affinity of any animals or birds or totems that you resonate with?
I definitely like the wolves, the dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The earth animals. You know what I'm saying? Like the
you say bulls too?
Yeah, bulls and stuff. All the earth animals. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the earthy animals, huh? The terrestrial, like on the earth. Holy! Look at this, Oza. The chat.
Yeah, that's a big Belgian bull or what? What kind of bull is that?
Something.
Belgian bulls are huge. They got some huge.
Yeah.
That's a big boy right there.
That's a specimen.
You ever seen how big a moose is?
Yeah. Rest in peace to my good friend Jason over there in New Jersey. He used to live in Lawrenceville. But he's with his dad's house because they run a gaming thing where they take people hunting. Yeah. And they have a big moose in there. You know,
that bull that guy was walking, there's mooses that are big like that, big ass rack of horns on it, like huge, gigantic moose, bigger than a horse. They're like bigger than horses.
It's interesting how big things can get. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
This is downtown Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah, them things are humongous, man. They be in parking lots scratching their horns on cars and shit.
The horns, yeah. Because it itches, right?
Wiping cars down, yeah. Like
Look
the
at
cars
the
are made out of plastic.
He's got one heck of a rack, and he just moseying on.
Damn, he's beautiful.
Picking up a little speed.
Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Look at that big bruiser.
I don't think you can kill that thing. They should allow that, huh?
Man, they always trying to allow some shit. Them things is ancient.
This is by True North Federal Credit
That's beautiful,
Union.
Man.
Great big moose.
Did you see how big he is? Like, that's why I wanted to show this one because the scale next to the car.
They got better ones. You got to see
He's got
videos of
one
them in
heck of a
parking lots. They
rack,
got a
and he's
couple
just
of them in parking
moseying
lots,
on.
just
In the
towering
parking
over,
lot, you said?
parking
Now
lots,
he's
towering over cars.
Were they parking lot pig pen?
Yeah, just
Parking lot pig after the
parking
club?
lots. Mooses in parking lots, yo. You see them in parking lot comparison. Like them things is just standing over cars and minivans and trucks. They're like standing way over the cars, bro. They're huge.
Let me go.
Because they're bigger than they get bigger than horses. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got them in park. I seen one recently that they show them like coming out of
Walmart or something.
it's like a parking lot at night, and the moose is huge, just walking by cars, huge, way bigger than cars. Lowe's, yeah, they be having them in parking lots and shit.
He's in there for like 9 hours, they said. Now, I want to see the one when he's rubbing up against the car and stuff. Oh, here we go. There's one, man.
That's a little skinny one. They
Yeah,
got
he's a
some
little.
that are linebackers coming into parking lots and stuff, looking crazy, yo. Sometimes, like it
They
doesn't.
probably don't bother you, right?
Nah, they wipe you down.
They'll wipe you down.
They'll wipe you down. You got to stay away from them.
Yeah. Oh, that's the same one right there. Let's see. That was Connecticut. Mm-hmm.
In love.
There's a couple. Look.
Those moves look funny.
They ain't got no rack.
Mm-hmm. Might be a
So
mom.
the females got no rack, obviously.
Yeah,
huh?
it might be a female with.
That's ironic.
Female with,
Female with no rack.
Click on that one right there. And see.
Which one? This one?
Look at them things.
He's strolling through the parking lot. Look.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to brush up against that one.
Biggest mooses on record are ridiculous. Like they got some moose that are like, you know what I mean, so big that don't make.
Yeah, I put the biggest one. Let's just come up. Biggest moose. Yeah. Somebody was talking about Bengal tigers too.
Bengal tigers are not as big as Siberian tigers. Siberian tigers are way bigger.
Or even bigger, right?
Yeah.
Those are the snow tigers?
Yeah.
No point. Let me look up this one real quick.
Siberian tigers way more and are bigger.
It's just a cigarette and it cannot be that bad.
Yeah, Siberian tiger's not nice.
So standing up, this thing's probably what? 7 feet tall?
Probably bigger than that.
Yeah.
He weighs more. He's like 800
That's a house
pounds
cat.
compared to the damn. I think the Bengals.
All
like
tigers are tough until a
Listen.
Siberian tiger
Oh,
enters
here
with
you go.
them.
Yeah.
Siberian
Siberian
tigers have
tiger is
impressive
12 feet
size,
tall.
making them the largest felines
Look
in
at
the
that.
world.
Look at
Males can reach
the
lengths
Ozo
of
when he
up to
walks
12
in the
feet
building.
and weigh 700 pounds.
Me
All
too, right?
tigers are tough
700 pounds.
That's it right there, right?
Yeah, 700 pounds compared
until
to
a
a Bengal.
Siberian tiger enters with them. Siberian tigers have impressive size, making them the largest felines in the world. Males can reach lengths of up to 12 feet and weigh 700 pounds. They are even larger than Bengal tigers and African
So that's
lions.
the tiger. The Siberian is the one
adapted
that
to
cross with the lion. The Siberian with the lion, and to make the liger that's huge, liger that's bigger than.
Oh, yeah. It's all lethargic. It's huge, but it's not very agile or anything, huh?
Well, not the ones they showed us, as far as we know.
Yeah. Can those have babies?
Because there's probably
sterile, right?
There's probably plenty of litters of
Uh-huh.
some of them that came out on some saber-toothed tiger level, but they don't show us those. They
Oh,
only,
I see. They only show us like the
big doofus.
out of shape
They
one.
show us big doofus.
The big doofus. Goofus.
Yep, big
Goofus.
Goofy. Go say hi, Goofy.
to extreme cold and are found in the Siberian region, where temperatures can reach.
Okay, wait. So they have that's I try to wrap my mind around that. Like I forget. Like that tundra area.
Yeah.
You got tigers.
As low as
Siberia's no
58.
joke.
That's where the shaman are, right?
So they come orange, and they also have a gene that they also
They're white.
White, yeah, solid white, but they're usually orange.
That's a rare one, probably. White's
No,
always rare in nature.
Yeah, Yeah, but not for those Siberians. They come in white also, like they're both.
Well, that makes sense for camouflage, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
A Siberian tiger can eat up
Holy
to
crap.
110 pounds of meat in a single meal, so they are solitary hunters with a hunting success rate of only
Bro,
10%.
the consciousness of a person in
They are
Siberia.
undoubtedly impressive and valuable animals.
Like the
with a
genetics,
biological diversity
people
of the
born
planet.
there.
As I always say, remember to subscribe and love nature. Thank you.
I met one person who was in my class. He was visiting from Siberia. He looked Asian, like he said. Like he had the big cheekbones. He looked kind of like a white guy, but he had the Asian eyes.
Yep. Everyone I met was high cheekbones. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 He was cool too. Only came to a couple classes. Let's see. Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah. What did oh yeah, the liger.
Ligers.
Oh yeah, this is true. Also, kind of like it says the all-seeing guy says mooses like to get intoxicated. I heard about that. They purposely seek out fermented fruit to get drunk.
Yeah, yeah. You know that
Yeah, I heard about
the
that.
breed, like the things that I do with the dogs and the breeding and stuff. I learned a lot of things. So you could breed a lion. You breed a lion to the tiger, and you make the liger, right? But if you breed you rebreed that tiger though, if you get a male tiger and you breed it to a female lion, you'll make a tigon.
What?
Yeah.
Tigon.
A tigon is different from a liger. A liger is the father is a lion, and he with a female tiger makes a liger, and their genetic doesn't have a gene to stop them from growing, so they'll keep growing and growing and growing.
What happens when big cats mix?
Meet
the liger, a lion-tiger hybrid that's the largest of them all. Then the tigon, a tiger-lion.
There's a tigon.
Lion cross with unique stripes and spots, and the rare leopon, a leopard-lion hybrid.
Yep.
A leopon.
Yep.
That's AI right there.
No,
is that
not.
real?
Keep going. They're real.
Wow. No. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that, but this looks too perfect.
Oh, they might have made an AI too perfect picture of them, but yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but yeah.
The tigon
a leopard lion
has a damn like he's a tiger with a.
He has a mane.
With a mane.
Yeah,
he's a tiger with a mane.
And he got the spots of a leopard.
Yeah, but the tigon though, but not this dude. This dude's a leopon.
Leopon.
Yeah, leopard, whatever the fuck.
Lion hybrid known for its stunning coat. These hybrids are amazing examples of nature's possibilities, but they can only exist in captivity. What happens when big cats mix?
This one is
Meet
ridiculous.
The liger, a lion-tiger hybrid that's the
yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, that's liger.
Wow.
You can tell it's a liger just by
the short legs.
Just by the way it looks. They're born. So the ligers don't even come with a mane either. Like they don't even have a mane. Nothing. They always look like
male or female.
They look like they look like the female lions every time. They don't come out with a mane. So if they did come out with a mane, that would be ridiculous. If it came out gigantic with a mane, would be stupid. But they don't. They just have the giant genetics to look ridiculous. Like look at more pictures of ligers. They have them standing up next to people that are like 12 feet tall.
Yeah. I love that Philip has a comment. He says, tigers have strong rear legs that allow them to jump 8 feet. Yeah, lions don't have that power. Yeah, because look, he has like this guy has like the lion legs, like stumpy, like
I'm
that.
Pretty sure, listen, I'm pretty sure that as far as breeding programs go, they only showing us you know what I'm saying? Like they keeping the prize possession ones so no one sees those. Like you know what I'm saying? Like when they've made like the specimens, ligers, right? Yeah, make 1 million specimens, and then they come out with something that will survive in the wild that is gigantic beyond belief. That we can't let this go because this thing will take over the wild. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they have to have had those, but they don't show those.
But so they can have babies? They're not sterile?
They're sterile because of like a donkey. If you breed a horse,
like a mule, you mean?
Yeah, mule. If you breed a horse to a mule, it creates if you breed a horse to a donkey, it creates a mule. So these ligers, they're born in a way that they're supposedly, allegedly can't breed. So I'm sure science, like you remember Jurassic Park, nature finds a way. If you keep making those ligers, I'm sure eventually you'll make one that can breed.
Right.
and just take over the whole network.
It'll find a way. Because
Yeah.
it's a relatively new thing, we could say maybe. At least that the public knows about.
It's not a new thing. It's something that's been isolated and done because in the wild it happens, but
it does.
Yeah,
they cross species.
Of course, if they're in the same vicinity of each other, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But usually,
because it's a cat, huh?
Usually, no, not really. But usually, some of them that are related, they're not even in the same vicinity. So they found out that they're related by doing genetic testing and shit, and they found out they could breed these things. But I thought
they just said it was only in the wild though, so they're not giving us the full information.
No, but I'm saying like in the wild, there's things that do happen. Like let's say, for example, like a grizzly, a Kodiak, like a grizzly bear that is the biggest.
And a brown bear?
No, just a grizzly bear, big ass Kodiak, right? If he gets up north far enough and he comes across a polar bear, he can breed to a polar bear and make a new bear that is half polar bear, half grizzly monster. Like, you know what I'm saying? A new species of bear.
Or a weird one with the panda bear. That'd be weird.
I mean, panda bears are not even bears. They're not even, you know what I'm saying? They eat grass.
Dude, I did a live about that. Like, they're actually like really not conducive to evolution. They should be dead by now. I don't mean to be mean.
No, they don't make sense. They don't make sense.
They don't make sense. Yeah, they don't make sense. They eat poison.
They're not even. Yeah,
bamboo.
Yeah. The only thing a polar bear would do is eat them. Like there's no. Polar bear would just eat that thing.
You got a comment from the All-Seeing guy again. He said, "Did you hear about that genetic science company that extract dire wolf DNA to make new living half-gray wolf dire? Yeah, that happened like a couple months ago. I think it reminds me of Jurassic Park, kind of.
Yeah, they made some dire wolves. They're gonna be huge.
Yeah,
dire wolves.
Now, you hear are they still alive? You think?
What, dire wolves? Yeah, probably on the other side of the ice wall.
Oh yeah, but these ones I'm talking about, these ones that remain in the lab.
They made a whole litter of them. They definitely got.
Those. Okay, they're still good.
They got those. Of course, they got those.
Yeah.
Of course, they got those. They made those specifically to keep those on deck to see how big they get and what they're capable of.
Lester Tree said, "My dog is a product of crossbreeding. He's a French bulldog that looks like a gremlin."
Yeah, I got those. I got a few of those gremlins. I got a couple. Gremlins.
Yeah. I
would like to breed like.
Do you have a? I was gonna say, what's his name? I have to say real quick. Keep your thought. A Benzino.
Oh no, I'm good with those. No Benzinos over here. But yeah, a big giant dog like Neapolitan Mastiff.
Oh, that's a big dog.
Yeah, breed that to like a Bull Mastiff.
Or Corso.
Not Corso. Corso's not bone enough. Like he's not big enough. Like a Bull Mastiff is humongous.
Yeah, that's true.
Borabel. Borabel type of dog. That's like a Bull Mastiff type of dog. Is a Borabel. Those big dogs like that, you can make a big. Like I would like to make a big Sesame Street type dog. Like breed a Tibetan Mastiff to a Chow Chow.
Yeah, with a chow. Wow, that'd be crazy. Hey, Lizard Tree and Lady Luck, you can do the custom emoji. I have my friend's Corso Mastiff bear. He's wearing my hat. That's the one. It's one on the special emojis. But you said a Tibetan, because that Tibetan Mastiff is like the biggest one, right?
Yeah, Tibetan Mastiff to a Chow Chow to make a giant Chow Chow, like the Sesame Street dog, like a big,
Barkley.
Yeah, like a big furry giant dog, yo, like a
Barkley's huge, bro.
Yeah.
Now I want to get into this real quick because Markella, our friend Markella, she said she used to have, or I don't know if she still does. She had like 27 horses, and she was talking about the biggest cows. Look at this cow right here.
Yeah, cows are humongous, bro.
This is ridiculous, especially scale. You're gonna love this one.
You won't understand. We don't understand the scales of some of these animals. Like some of these cows. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that's what we say. What did you say? Disturbing? What do you say? You say that's
out of pocket. Yo, that's a different species of cow compared to the other cows. Like they got species of cows that are like ridiculously large that are born like this. They've got like the Belgian there's cows that are born with no myostatin, like that they just pure muscle.
Oh yeah. Born like that, so that's not steroids.
No steroids. It's a Belgian blue cow. I forgot the name of them, but they're born.
Yo, that's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, the muscle ones are more ridiculous than that. That thing looks like nothing.
Even the females are like that, muscular.
The whole species is muscular on another level. Like you don't see no fat on them. All you see is every muscle sinew on their body. Like they look ridiculous.
Okay, now to bring it back to the psychedelic experience, psychedelic experience. Do you think the particular breed or whether I don't know species or cow also affects the type of like the mushroom, even if it's a certain strand?
No, but there's mushrooms from all over the world, from different species of cattle and different things all over. So you know, I mean, mushrooms grow mushrooms grow even in elephant dung. I got mushrooms.
Yeah, right, and rhinoceros too.
Rhinoceros, yes, rhinoceros, hippo.
Yeah.
I have there's so many. You know what I mean? Cow.
Yeah, just not human.
No, because humans don't have four.
We don't have that stuff.
We don't have 4 stomachs. We're not
right.
We're not one of the animals that we're supposed to eat.
Yeah, look at this. It's huge.
Yeah, that thing is different from the rest of them.
Yeah, did you ever go to the county fair in Jersey or Mass when you were younger?
No.
Okay, because we had that, and I remember they used to have these things where you pay like 50 cents or $1. You go into the trailer, and it shows you like the biggest cow or the biggest horse. It's like, God, it's damn. Some of these were literally like this, like they have the cow like this or the bull, and of course, there I was fascinated because right when I go, that's when it decides to pee, and it's like peeing for 2 minutes straight.
Man,
this is wild, dog. Now the horses, like we all know about the Clydesdale, right?
Yeah, those are the biggest. I've seen those before at the Anheuser-Busch company I went to.
Yeah, right. They pulled the.
Have you ever seen a giant horse like this? This massive draft horse looks like it came straight out of a legend with its towering size and powerful build. These horses.
Holy crap.
Are usually used for heavy farm work or pulling loads, and their size is enough to leave anyone speechless. But what would you name
think they
it?
live
Have
a
you
long
ever
time?
seen a giant horse like this?
Probably
This massive
not, but they're
draft horse
humongous. They don't even make sense.
looks like it came straight out of a
It's like the horse in an Animal Farm.
legend with its towering
It's
size
like-
and powerful build. These
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
horses are
Those
usually used
horses
for
are like-
heavy farm work.
That's how big a moose is. Like that horse that he's on right there. That's how big a moose is. Mooses are huge. Like
Right.
draft-
horse named
draft
Samson
horses
was
are
the
ridiculous.
tallest and heaviest horse ever recorded. He stood 2.19 meters high and was estimated
7'2".
to weigh over 1,500 kilograms in 1846. Horse named
Now this one is it's amazing. Power breed.
Draft horses are a special type of horse that are usually very big and strong.
So
They
the
were bred to
these are
help
probably
people with
Belgians,
heavy
maybe?
work, like plowing fields or pulling large loads.
Yeah.
Look up the Belgian blue bull.
Okay.
Same thing like those draft horses, man, but a bull.
Whoa.
Have you ever seen a cow with muscles you wouldn't believe? Now, we know cows aren't usually what comes to mind when you think of bodybuilders.
Where's the beef?
But the Belgian blue is
All-seeing
no
guy.
ordinary cow.
Yeah.
Due to a rare genetic mutation,
Holy-
these cattle have taken bulking to
Those glutes.
Yeah, they're just
a
pure
whole
muscle.
new level. Their myostatin gene is mutated, causing hyperplasia, an increase in muscle fibers.
They said mutated. Is that naturally or?
It's a new
The results are
mutation in their genetic from their breed
insane.
that is
Their
myostatin.
muscle-
So that's
these
why they try
cattle-
to come out with genetic supplies that got myostatin blockers in it, so that we can become more muscular.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Have taken
Would that be more safer, you think, than taking steroids?
I don't know, man.
bulking to a
That
whole
bull
new
looks
level.
ridiculous. He looks like he's in a
Yeah.
spasm.
Their
his whole life.
myostatin gene
He's in a spasm. Yeah. What's his name? What was that guy I like from you know, the fighter? What's the fighter's name? He fights
Oh.
everyone.
There's so many of them, man. But you look up images of Belgian
is
blue
mutated,
bulls
Yeah, yeah.
causing
and blue
hyperplasia,
cows and all
an
you see-
increase
pickle.
in muscle fibers.
Oh,
They're
The
pickle.
results are insane.
Yeah. All you see is
Thing.
muscular.
Their
like,
muscles are so
ridiculous.
massive. They look more like bodybuilders than bovines. But don't let
That's
their
wild.
intimidating physique fool you.
Markella was saying that what she said. She said the name of that cow. It's called the Holstein cow.
I
that
like
big cow.
The
Holstein.
I like the hairy cows, the hairy ass ones.
Hairy cow?
Super thick and hairy. Yeah.
Like this one?
Nah, those are dope though. But I like this big giant hairy one that looks like it got hair.
Hairy cow. Oh, it's like a yak.
It looks like a yak. He's funny as hell.
Yeah.
They're super thick. Super
hairy.
thick.
Oh, here we go.
Yo.
Yep.
Hello. Hey, slow down. I can't
They
go.
You look fun.
How you doing?
Highland cow. It's like called a Highland.
Yo,
cow.
you see that guy's antlers?
They got thick Highland cows.
Ahoy
you,
there.
You look up Highland cows.
How
and
is
you
it
see a
going,
bunch
Jama?
of them, you heard?
Highland?
Yeah, that's what it is. A Highland cow.
Where's this located? Like in Scotland or something?
I don't even know.
The Highlander.
The Highland cows are huge,
Oh,
huge and curly. They like fur.
This one.
They shave them.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's a little sheep? Damn,
Little
big
giant-
ass balls.
Like a giant sheep. They shave them down.
Ridiculous.
They have huge like bangs. Their whole hair is full, like it's full.
Well, they shaved them right here. Usually they have hair, you're saying?
Yeah, the Highland cows.
Okay.
Yeah, they got mini.
That's a
ones, too.
Highland cow.
They got Highland mini cows. They got Highland. They got hair like on their bangs in their head and their face, and they're big. Yeah, that's
Look at a shot right here.
Yeah, that's a big giant lunk of a cow right there. That thing's huge.
That rack is impressive.
Yeah.
That's dope.
They got micro ones too, like mini Highland cows.
Mini guys?
Yeah, mini micro ones.
Oh, you don't have. She said she doesn't have horses anymore. I remember. Yeah, you said she had 27. All seeing guy said I drove horses and carriages in Philly. Wow. And my horse liked to piss at the stoplight right in front of a bus stop. It would splatter off the ground and people waiting at the bus stop. Yeah, great. Yeah. I'll see a guy. Make sure you sub up, man.
Horses to laugh at the people. They used to be like, ah.
Oh shit.
Horses laugh at them like
Horse and carriage. Remember that song?
Yep.
Horse and carriage.
Rise to the top.
To the top. Mason Betta. Hey, horse and carriage. Let's say Philly. There we go. Philly fan. That's a cool job. Career, I guess. Look at that. That's only in the East Coast stuff, because I've never seen that in the West Coast, like in LA or San Francisco.
Probably too hot in the goddamn sidewalk for the horse.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Methane fumes every second up his big ass nostrils.
Horse and buggy. Well, they have the horse and buggy, the Amish.
Yeah, but they're
This is
not
not Amish right here.
They're not in the city though, all up in the car in the traffic.
Yeah, they're like
in the car with
they're in
the-
Lancaster County. That's where I went and saw them. Intercourse, PA. That's the name of the city. Which is funny that in the Amish counties they have a city called Intercourse.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
They're like, fuck that. That's why they did that.
The horse is just like kind of piss right.
that they're not plugged in.
What's that?
The government's like, fuck them. We're gonna call it intercourse.
Right, exactly.
Because they're
Amish,
mad.
that's the way to go. In
They're
a sense,
mad,
right?
Yeah, they're mad that they don't got the that they're not plugged in and they're not feeding the
Mhm.
city.
Right.
They grow their own.
Yeah, she right. Water buffalo are the best. We'll see that. Yeah, the hairy ones are called. Yeah, Markella says you're right. Highlands.
Yep.
They have Highland cows. That's a cross between a Longhorn and a Highland. Let's see that, and then we'll look at the water buffalo. Highland cows. Sounds like it's gonna be big, huh? But here's one. Well, Highland was Highland.
The Highland ones are the hairy ones, and they got micro ones that are funny.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
Fluffy little
This
cow.
is
I really want
Scotland.
to go to Scotland to see the Highland cows.
Dude, I want to go there so bad. I got a little bit of ancestry there. Scotland. Look at this shit.
I really
Imagine
want to
doing
go to
the,
Scotland to see
Strumming right here.
Yeah.
Look at
man.
that. Whew.
the
Those cows are
Highland
beautiful
cow.
for sure.
Yeah, they have nice ones, huh?
They're seeing fairies.
I feel
They're seeing fairies off those
really
trees.
strongly about this because
Fairyland.
I'm feeling very
Yeah.
sad.
From these guys, right? These guys help out with that, right?
Hell yeah, every cow.
And
Yeah.
I
Also, would you consider when you get property and stuff, getting some cows and stuff?
Like, I just
the
feel like
micro Highland cows for sure.
this would
The
fix
micro.
it.
Let me look at those.
I really
He's telling me check out the micro Highland.
Yep, I'll get a bunch of the micro Highland cows, bro.
Is it like a mini horse kind of?
It's like a mini horse. I get the micro Highland cows, and I get the
cute.
also.
Look at that.
And I get what's it called? They got micro horses too in India. I mean, I think it's in India. They got these little little ponies.
Yeah, I seen those.
Those things are
Those
serious.
cute little guys.
Yeah, those little dudes.
They'll forever look like a baby. Can't go, man.
That's
Look at this guy.
That's AI. Get that out of here, man. That's AI.
Get that out of here. Holy shit.
But I like
Oh my
the
God, I
Highland.
want to take him home. We can put him in the truck.
We can put him in
Yep.
We can put him in the truck. Look
That's
at him.
definitely a Highland cow right there. Mini one.
Oh my God, I want to take him home. We can put him in the truck. We can
Put him in the truck.
put him in the truck.
You ever heard of the Damascus goat?
Nope. Damascus?
Yeah.
Like a Judas goat or whatever? What is that?
Damascus goat, bro. It's the most beautiful goat of all goats.
Oh, shut up, dude. I had a feeling that, like, as soon as you said that, it's going to be, like, ugly as fuck.
Yo, Damascus
Have you ever
goat.
seen a goat with a face
That's
like
your
this?
ex.
This is the Damascus goat, a truly unique breed with an almost alien-like
Come on,
face.
man.
Its wrinkled
My wife
forehead,
would probably like
bulging
something like
eyes,
this. She likes the
perpetually
dogs with the
smiling mouth,
underbite
and
or
long
whatever.
floppy
Yo, those
ears
things are
give it
expensive,
an
man.
otherworldly look. But how
That's
did this
the
goat
worst
end up
thing.
looking
You just
so
ruined my... We're looking at these beautiful god creatures in this.
peculiar? Well,
Kato,
it all
you're back to
comes
Kato
down
Kid.
to selective breeding.
Come
Breeders
on,
have
man.
selectively bred
Those are expensive, rich people
these goats
goats.
for specific traits, such as
Well, some people... Never mind. I was going to go there. So some people do things with the...
increased milk production and
Nah, those
meat
are the big
quality.
booty goats.
Over time, these practices have led to the development
Like
of
his wife.
unique physical characteristics, like their distinctive facial features. While their appearance may be unusual, they are well adapted to harsh environments and are known for their resilience. But these goats aren't just odd-looking, they're also quite intelligent and social. They form strong bonds with their herd mates and are known for their playful and curious
I'm
nature.
dead.
You might often see them
wanna get one?
exploring their surroundings, climbing rocks, or
Nah,
simply
man.
lounging in the sun.
They look like they're
Have you
good.
ever seen a
You never
goat
seen
with
fat-tailed sheep? Look up fat-tailed sheep. Ridiculous. They got BBLs. All
We
of
got to
them.
look up the water buffaloes.
They got BBLs, the fat-tailed sheep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Why
I see
is the
this
sheep's rear so big? Does it take steroids on its back like a bodybuilder?
You like
These are
that.
actually called fat-tailed sheep. You
Those
might think
are
this
like
poor
that.
sheep's rear has been
That's
affected by
crazy,
fly
right?
bites or human injections, but the reality is entirely different. These sheep
That's a
naturally have a
shepherd's, like,
bouncy backside, which
wet
is actually
dream,
their
man.
fatty tail.
All that
The
lonely
purpose of this
time out
fatty
there
tail
in
is
the
to store fat,
meadows.
which helps them survive the winter when food is scarce,
Got a
similar to how
BBL.
camels
They
store
pack-
fat in their
they
humps.
pack in fat
Why
like
is
the
the
camel
sheep's rear
hump.
so big?
That's what
Does
it
it take
is. It's like
steroids
a
on
Put
camel
water in there?
It's like a camel hump. The camel hump doesn't really have.
Oh,
water.
okay.
Yeah.
They have an ass. Okay, I
Yeah,
get it.
they collect all their fat into their ass.
I'll tell you guys, another company carriage driver drove a Petron horse. They were bred for battle, huge with long legs, so knights would sit up high from the swinging their weapons. They like that one. Lizard tree. What is it?
Yeah,
Petron?
my favorite is them draft horses though. Them draft horses are serious, man.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite. There's nothing like those gyms. That thing is serious.
It looks like it's not messing around.
Yeah, it's like a monster horse. It doesn't even make sense. Clydesdales are humongous. I went to Busch Garden. Busch Gardens.
Yeah, Busch Gardens probably. Huh?
Seen the Clydesdale.
Whatever you have over there.
Yeah, the giant dude over there, bro. He was humongous.
The Percheron is a well-known draft horse with a striking jet black coat, standing around 16 hands tall. Originally from France, this breed was used as a war horse throughout Europe in the 19th century. Over the past few decades, Percherons have gained
to like a gypsy horse. Like you'll have a draft horse that's gigantic with boots on his feet and it's got polka dots on the fur. It's looking
popularity in the United States, especially for pulling carriages and farm equipment.
You start doing a breeding program with the humans all over the world.
For their gentle temperament.
We have some more kids.
These horses are calm, docile, and easy to work with, making them ideal for carriage rides and farm labor. Their incredible strength and endurance allow them to pull heavy loads with ease.
Whoa, look how broad he is.
That red one is serious.
Look how wide his stance is.
Yeah, that thing's
he's serious.
Working long hours without
He's beautiful.
Tiring. Yeah. They also get along well with other animals, including dogs. Thanks to their history as war horses, Percherons possess both power and resilience, making them a top
dope. That was
choice for farm work, carriage driving, and even family rides.
Let's see this water buffalo. Vietnam has a lot of those, right? Like
water buffalo. No,
oh yeah, in Taiwan too.
They swim underwater. They completely submerge themselves like submarine.
They swim?
Yeah, underwater like a submarine. Yeah, that thing right there like a submarine.
What the hell is that?
Submarine.
What is it eating?
It's just chewing on this fucking big ass snake.
What the hell?
But nah, that's just stupid. He's just licking the food. You know what I mean? Who knows? That's just AI or something. But they definitely got them buffaloes.
That's not real.
The buffaloes walk underwater.
Here we go.
Water buffaloes are unexpectedly docile and shy creatures. From India to China, this animal has been recorded helping humans farm their land for over 6,300 years.
We got mushrooms in China.
Water
then.
buffaloes
Look at that. You're right.
To live near water,
underwater,
with their buoyant bodies to stay afloat,
like
and their
a
powerful
manatee.
legs to paddle across. They can easily navigate through water. They can hold their
That's
breath for up
dope. I
to
didn't
5
think
minutes,
about they do that.
which
shit.
allows them to
5
cross rivers.
minutes.
Water buffalo.
5 minutes, bro. Over there scraping seaweed out or whatever it's eating under there.
It's like munching, right?
Yeah, munching on shit.
Unexpectedly docile and shy creatures.
You think about you like no idea about the habitat, their terrain, and you're like just chilling. All of a sudden, you're in the water.
That thing pops up like a fucking
holy
baboon creature.
From India to China, this animal has been recorded helping humans farm their land for over 6,300 years. They are called water buffaloes because they love to live near water. With their buoyant bodies to stay afloat and their powerful legs to paddle across, they can easily navate through water.
Oh yeah,
they
before we go, let me just show you this thing. I gotta show you what Justin looked like yesterday.
I'm done.
He'll be done after this. Let's see. Let me get out of here. Oh yeah, go back. He was I meant to fucking call him after. I'm sure he's okay. I think he's been hanging around his party, trying to keep up with his son too, but I don't know. Let's see. It was yesterday. Oh, here we go. His ass coming here.
But you haven't by
you feel sorry to interrupt, but when they say things,
okay.
You know, you gotta have,
when Tommy even first
look at this
starting off.
You see him on the bottom
around me. I didn't really have a problem with the words that he was using to a degree.
Oh, yeah. He has like makeup
around me that it was.
Yeah, he definitely.
Right, a lot of people.
He definitely looked like he just escaped from his parole officer. You know what I'm saying? Just escaped from the crib. He's on the DL. He's definitely got a warrant out for his arrest immediately.
Oh God, look at him!
I was like, look, out of here. They weren't really rocking with him. You know,
look, he has kissed. Wait, hold on. I'll rock with this person. Sorry to interrupt with $20. Thank you so much. Lizard Tree.
This is a $500 plate dinner. Good night.
Oh, 500. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Here, put us down
That thing was
for.
clap.
Put us down for.
That was funny. Yeah.
51 seconds.
Shout out to Lizard Tree. Yo, Justin, what's up, man? What's up? What's up, wanking wizard?
Eyes, motherfucker.
You're like, You're making the art. Yeah. This motherfucker, what the hell is that? This guy used his fair share of the N word. Yeah,
Which one?
You.
Which word?
The N word, right?
Nepotism.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, narcissism.
Don't even date him.
Narcissism. Yeah.
You want,
Justin, what do you think about
on that subject? You know what I realized today while making
what's
music?
that?
That Heineken, it's pretty close to high. What I can't say anymore.
Here he goes.
Because I trained him. I can't say anymore. Yeah, it does sound like that. It does sound like that for sure.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Hey, that's your man.
That's your man. Bro.
That's your brother. He's your man. That's my brother. You're on X to solve all my problems. I can't help it, man.
What's the best
my
advice you
twin?
can give someone?
It's like we're twins, dog. But I'm like Arnold, and he's like Danny DeVito.
I'm dead.
What are you right?
Okay.
In general.
Oh well. Okay. Yeah.
Look at
In
this.
general,
That's good advice.
we all know we're at some crazy time where at any moment everything could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So
What's up, Joe? I see you. One
like-
second. What's it?
there used to be like conspiracy theories and shit. Now it's just which one is more true than the other one, right? And
Hey, Meta,
bro,
Joe Cool.
don't worry too much
Double Joe
about your
Cool.
personal shit. Just have fun. Just laugh because
Just
maybe
laugh.
tomorrow or maybe the next day it's going to be shit. So don't worry.
Right. Or you just might go away. Yeah. And not come back. Or you might just
And
not
look,
come back
Look,
again.
you can worry your whole life about something and then it doesn't happen, right? So you wasted all that time. You actually created that what you didn't want, right?
Mm-hmm.
You anticipated it. Whatever, bro. Just be happy. Life is fucking weird.
It is. Yeah, that's good advice. I like that. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I
don't
really,
take it
truly.
serious.
I'm gonna probably listen to that again. That was good, and I just did. Buddha was commenting.
What's going on,
Joe Cool?
I noticed somebody put my name as Chillin' Joe. I don't even know who did that. I'm trying to change it. Could have been
Chillin' Joe.
Could have been from any stream I was on. I don't know.
At least it didn't put Token Joe.
That's something crazy.
What's up, man?
I took a
going?
nap, man. I've been up early chasing police. I took a nap when I saw you
Uh-huh.
earlier. I fell asleep. I just woke back up.
Yeah. Because if you were somewhere else, because you said hi in the beginning, we're gonna find you, Joe. You'd be here. This is the light side, man.
I see Flo was up, but I'll probably spend a late night with Flo. I'll probably be up all night. Yeah.
He went on 15 minutes before I went on. I was like, okay.
He didn't have a choice. Someone triggered and trained him to do that. That was not his choice. That was some guy talking shit about him, and you know how Flo is.
Oh, really?
Fuck, I'm going live.
Oh,
That's
no.
how Flo is. That's why he went live.
Damn.
OTW, he went over there and tried to talk to him. OTW backstage and yelled at him, and he got mad.
That's his son. Like they're each other's sons. They're
and
brothers.
Paul, they might be triplets. You got to throw Paul in there too.
Exactly.
Some type of family.
Oh God, this is what's so funny because we did, Joe. First of all, I want you to meet my brother Ozo. This is
What's up, Ozo? I heard you before
my
I fell
new
out.
good friend Joe.
He gave you a good introduction and shit before I passed out, so I did see your name at least.
True.
Oh yeah, the real Kato Kayla.
Yeah, I fell out though.
No, Ozo's a legend. So Joe too.
Tell me about Ozo. Yeah.
Tell me about Ozo, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm
Where do I
guessing.
start?
I don't know why I assumed this. Does he stay in overseas too?
No.
Unless you consider the East Coast overseas. Yeah.
Okay.
Elza, where you from, Ozo?
He's cold right here, by Boston, Massachusetts.
I went to my first dispensary in Boston. Yeah, Black Triangle. That's the weed strain I got. It was incredible. You see, I still remember it. I was like 6 years.
That's
ago.
incredible it was. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Ozo's my friend. We met was it like 4 years ago now? No, more than that, right? 2019.
Like 1,000 years. I don't know.
You'd say
1,000, yeah.
With, man, like you meet NPC, you fuck around, be friends with them for 40 years. You stay like that type.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. As we all told each other we meet up at this moment, 2000. Joe Cool best laugh at the Palaver. Dude. Hey, yeah, but like, yeah, we met on this another brother you would love, Joe. True Life Stories. He's out of San Diego, and he's had this live stream for a long time now, where it's just a bunch of psychedelic heads get on there and just muse on life and stuff. Yeah.
Wait! Did niggas get high and be online?
Ask the Ozo, do niggas get high online?
Sometimes just live streams and tripping balls on shrooms and DMT.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I want to see that.
They're probably doing that right now.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I met Ozo there. He's a legend, OG, definitely. You know, like
the day tripper you called it before I fell out. The
day tripper,
day tripper you called it.
I like that.
That was cold.
We ain't talking about stocks and bonds. We're talking about shrooms and DMT. Yeah, shrooms and more shrooms. Bro. No, Ozo's a day tripper and all that. Yeah. No, he's taught me a lot, man. Just life and stuff. Like I don't trip like that anymore, but like Ozo and I, we have like hours and hours on my other channel of just his trip reports and stuff that are like just amazing.
Trip reports.
Yeah. He goes deep, man. Yeah. Then we try to relate it to like what's to normal life too, though.
Yeah.
I feel that's important.
Yeah. Well, Ozo, can I pick your head a little bit, or y'all doing something? Yeah. I just rudely hopped up here. All right, we get a little heavy. I get it. I do dumb shit sometimes. I'm trying to, ease into when you trip. Is what changes? Is it? I don't know how to ask the fucking question. Here,
you're the best at asking questions.
I just woke up. It might take my brain a second. I ain't smoked yet since I woke up. Does anything? Are there other worlds available when you're in that state?
Good question.
Yeah, like so taking doses depending on how far you go. You know what I mean? Like I did back studies on watching stuff like Terrence McKenna talking about 5 dry grams and all this other stuff, and then I tried 7 grams, and I kept going up the chain until I reached Kalindi levels. This dude Kalindi EE taking 30 grams of mushrooms, and so when you take
brother from Detroit,
so when you take certain shrooms, so you take let's say an effective dose for me would be 7 to 10 grams because I got a high tolerance,
right?
So so what happens is as I prepare to take my dose, I make sure that I'm already the room is clean, everything is secured. I'm not
very good.
Nothing at the house. You know what I'm saying? The dogs, everything is good. I don't got to take the dogs outside. I don't got to deal with anything. Phone ain't nothing. No computer, no electronics, no nothing. Everything's off.
No computer, electronics. That's
nothing. Yeah. So
he's disciplined.
Yeah. So I take this deep dive, and as soon as I feel to get my mindset straight, I fast all day. And then I try to go to sleep like around 8 o'clock, and then I wake myself up around 2 in the morning if I'm gonna go in deep and take a deep dive where I'm gonna be in a secure place. At 2 in the morning, nothing's going on. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the TV and I'll put on stand-up comedy, and I'll take my dose, and I'll just watch different comedians. I'll flick through different comedians, and once I feel the bug kicking in with the mushrooms, that I'm giggly and I'm watching these comedians, I'm laughing, I'm finding things extra funny. Now I turn everything off in a good mood, lay down in the darkness and close my eyes, and you start seeing these patterns forming. You see lights even in the dark where there shouldn't be lights, and these are the things that start making you wonder about how can I see this? How can this be possible? And so the curiosity opens up these doorways, like so slowly these little squiggly things and these lights that you see, you start following them with your eyes. It look like sometimes like even like a little meteor shower of lights, and you're looking at them in the darkness, and as you're looking at them, they become patterns, and these patterns become objects, and these objects become, you forget that you got your eyes closed, you forget you're laying down in the dark, and you're walking around inspecting things, walking somewhere. You might start a conversation talking to someone, and you're going about your business, and you realize now that this is all out of body or interdimensional type of thing, that when you snap your eyes open, you're back in your body, you're back in the crib. But it's like, and it doesn't take much of a transition from here to there. It's like it's just
go back and forth.
Just
Yeah.
behind the eyelids. You know, I've gone from laying down on the bed, thinking I'm standing up, walking, and then when I close my eyes, I'm laying down. And then every time I close my eyes, and I'm still standing now, but it's like there's no transition between laying or standing. It's like automatic. I'm there doing that.
Yeah.
And but it's like I can't tell the difference between this and that.
I was gonna ask you just any chance that as real as this world did, that any chance that those things are real? I think you already hinted at the answer.
Well, sometimes like, all right, I don't know. I try to debunk them while I'm there. I've asked these questions to myself. I don't know how this thing works. I'm somewhere in the darkness. I feel like in the movie Get Out. I feel my feet
stuck in place.
I feel my legs. I'm in a sweatsuit. I'm in the dark. I got my eyes closed. I got a hoodie on. I'm laying in there. I got my arms crossed like a vampire type of thing. I got my arms crossed and my feet even crossed like Indian position, but I'm laying down.
I understand.
And kind of like keeping my feet warm, my arms warm, I'm tucked in, everything. I got a hoodie on. I'm laying in the dark, and I slowly, as every time I take a breath, I feel my feet. I feel like my legs sinking. I feel my butt sinking. I'm like in the movie Get Out. I'm sinking into the chair, but I'm sinking into the bed.
Yeah.
Every breath, I'm sinking deeper and deeper. Now, when I'm sinking to the point now, I'm like opening my eyes ain't working, and I'm looking around, and I'm in a well, but the well's made out of my mattress, made out of my bed, made out of the. I sunk down to somewhere else, and around
the fabrics
me, under the floor, under the bed, where I'm standing, like I'm standing in the middle of the bed, but I'm looking up into a well, like Mario Brothers, looking
I
up.
understand. More than sunken place type shit. Yeah.
Looking into this warp zone, like Mario Brothers. I'm looking up at this tunnel made out of the
train
bed.
spotting.
You remember the sunken place he did that, and when he dropped, he could look up, and it was like looking up through a well. You see the little round area with them looking down on his ass.
Yeah,
that's crazy, yo. Because that's exactly like I'm over here experiencing this, and I'm trying to debunk it. Like, how am I on the bed flapping around? Like, how can I see this? I'm trying to climb up the walls of this tunnel, and it's made out of sheets. I couldn't climb up, so I was like, I ducked down, and underneath there was like at the bottom of the well there was grass that I could see under the lip.
Yeah.
And I walked under there, and I was somewhere else. And when I came out, I turned around and looked at the tunnel, and it looked like the Mario Brothers tunnels floating in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the jungle, like and I was looking at the leaves, inspecting them. It looked like Jurassic, like giant leaves, different colors.
I understand.
So it's like when I was there doing this stuff, it's like I don't know if it's something I seen somewhere or like I was looking around. But so this trip leads into other trips. And one of these trips, I don't know how I got to where I got, right? I'm laying down and I feel pulling at my body, like pulling me by my feet, like something pulling me. When I look down, there's a lion eating my ribs. And I'm like some type of a gazelle, some type of an animal in the jungle.
All right, let me stop you. I've got a couple more questions. Is it possible that because you said you watch comedy and shit, and you make sure everything's secure, and you lay down so that you can be free and put yourself in the right mind state? Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you any chance that it looks like you know what you're doing, because I tell everybody you got to make sure you're in a positive mind, or else something bad can happen. But I was about to say, look like you got it down. Then you say, yeah. Then I was getting eaten by a lion. He'll
make that a good thing, though, Joe.
I was about to say, does that make it a bad or good thing?
No, it depends on like I'll tell.
Most people be freaked out.
I told this to multiple people, and people freak out, and I didn't freak out. When it happened to me, I was more amazed. When I looked down, I kind of sucked in my breath when I seen the lion eating my ribs, and I sucked in my breath like. And when I looked at him, all I could see was the eyes were huge eyeballs in the creature, and I was looking at the muscles in his mouth and the power that this creature had. And it wasn't showing any malice. It wasn't viciously hitting me.
I dig it.
It was kind of like an intimate moment with this creature, that it wasn't like sexual, but it was like
I understand.
It was
close.
Like everybody's one type shit.
Yeah, and I thought in that moment also allowed me to side vent, like is this like what happens to the animals in the Discovery Channel when the lion's eating them and they don't run away and they're just like man?
Interesting.
Joe,
You
what's
know
your
what,
other question?
motherfuckers, DMT, they have that experience where they are the tree and the so and so simultaneously, and all of that shit. It sounds like, you know, like you're experiencing that where you're a part of the entire life circle. It looks like all of this is part of you, and you are the gazelle, you are the leaf, you are the lion. It looks like that anyway.
South Park said the circle of poo. Yeah, the circle of life.
Hey, yo,
Circle
it's
of life.
crazy, right? It's just amazing, man. Like, I don't know.
Amazing.
The thing is that also, like, one time what happened to me was that this is like the first experience when first one was the one that's like, I was laying down in another room where I cleared out everything out the way, and it was just the floor, and I was on the floor, and I was sitting down, and all of a sudden the trip started kicking in, and I felt it in my eyes. My eyeballs closed on me, and I couldn't open them. Like the muscles on my eyelids didn't work, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I never felt nothing like that. Like I was like trying to like open my eyes with I used my hand, and I pried my eyelid open, and I could like barely see, and it was like my muscles and I forced it closed with my own muscle against my will, like against my will. My eyes closed again, and I was like, "What the hell?" So
They
I was
had
like,
their
"Okay."
own mind and
So I was
shit.
like, "Okay, my eyes are closed. I'm fine. I'm with my eyes closed." And so I laid down on the floor, and I was laying there in the wooden floor, and I never even thought of the wooden floor before, but I'm mentioning it now because as I'm laying there on this wooden floor, wooden floorboards, I felt something on my shoulder move down to my arm, move down to my
We can't hear you.
Joe, have you ever done psychedelics?
I have,
Besides
and
weed?
I got some. I have, and I got some really good one to tell, dude. And when I had the near death, you're back. We
My
can hear
bad.
you.
My bad. So I was saying that.
Wait. See if you can make the story. I want to hear it, but like a minute long.
Okay.
Condense it. Now, because Joe was going to share his. After.
Oh, okay. So, bro, I'm laying on the floor. This was like the first time my eyeballs didn't work. I couldn't open them. I couldn't pry them open. I laid back down. I laid back, and I'm laying on the floor. I don't know. So the traveling was so deep and gone. I was so gone, but it became insignificant that I can't even recall what I seen through all that whole journey. Because at some point I had to use the bathroom really bad, and I felt I had to get up and use the bathroom. So I tried to get up, and I couldn't. And I tried, and I sat up, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm tripping." So I laid back. And I was like, I'll just wait a little while. And I waited, and as I'm tripping further, I felt like the bladder was so full that I was about to burst. And I had made fun of people who pissed their pants and who pooped themselves while they're tripping because they can't get to the bathroom. And I laughed at that before. So now here I am judging myself like, oh, I'm not pissing myself. So I was laying there. And this was after I tried a few times and I struggled and I couldn't open my eyes. So this time I'm mad. I got to pee. And I'm like, I'm not peeing myself. So I brought up the courage and I just said to myself, I'm just going to jump up and go. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not even going to try. So I hopped up. And when I hopped up, it was super disoriented. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I'm trying to use the bathroom and I'm like struggling and I can't use the bathroom. I'm wondering why I can't use the bathroom. And I'm like, no, that was further. Let me go back. So I jumped up, and when I jumped up to go use the bathroom, I felt disoriented, and I kind of stepped around, and I walked in a circle. And then when I walked in the circle, I felt the same pattern of happenings of my legs, down my leg, up my leg, and it's like it was so strange that I didn't know what was happening to me. And at one point, I stopped moving, and I opened my eyes, and I was still laying on the floor. So I wasn't even standing up. I wasn't even walking. I wasn't even doing nothing.
But
and
you were sure that you had.
So as I'm laying there, right, I close my eyes again and I'm standing there again. So now I'm testing it. Now I could try to debunk what's happening to me. Now as I start walking around, I realized that what I was feeling on my body, moving up and down my body, was the floorboards as my astral self is stepping on the floorboards, walking around my body. The floorboards creaking and moving. And
interesting.
And I was moving them with my astral self as I walked, and the floorboards was creaking on my body, laying on the ground. and then I was like amazed. So I jumped up this time, literally.
Wait.
Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
What you
Time up. Time up. Hold on. No, respectfully. I guess that's not really respectfully. Shout out to Marathon Kid for the membership. Appreciate you, brother.
Kev, what's good, baby?
Kev is another fellow psychonaut. Yeah.
He's one of the few sane fuckers in YouTube. I'll say that. Most of us are pretty fucking weird. Kev's pretty sane.
Right. Elzo will attest to that. When he comes over, he's like, "What?" He's kind of kind in the sense of patient. He's like, like, who are these people? Who are these people tripping on this shit? Yeah.
I got some similar.
No, but Elzo, you got it though. Like the most of the story, because we're gonna go to Joe now. I'm probably gonna pimp off.
Yeah. No. I'll stop it at that because that story is like it goes deeper than that. It's just,
it keeps going. Yeah.
Rooms are out of pocket.
You said a couple things that made me think. I had an experience which got me into doing the astral travels and stuff.
Holy shit, 5 minutes.
And the very first time, it was very similar. When I closed my eyes, I was in like a garden, but not like a garden here. I mean, where the foliage was massive, big foliage, and the colors were different. It wasn't green or red like here. They were like alive. It's really hard to explain. It's like if you have a dream and you think it's real and you wake up and you're like, I think that was real. That made me think of this place. Like, how did I think this was real? The shit we're in now. How did I ever fall for this shit? Anyway, I started doing this shit a lot. And they told me how to meditate. And it's interesting because they tell me lay down, relax your muscles one at a time and all of that shit. So the way to get there is similar to what you do. You lay down and that type of shit. You got to keep the electronics away from you. That was all part of what they taught me that first time. They told me verbally, though. I didn't learn it over time. And because I'm an egghead and I try to figure shit out, I had friends do it with me. And one of my friends suggested that, we do shrooms. I had never done shrooms. So I was like, yeah. And then y'all can watch. I'm going to talk to these people and you see what happens. And when I did it and had my experience, I laid down, did it and all that stuff. And one of the guys, well, they all would come close and go back. But one of the guys, it was a teacher. And he was telling me that they could hear my conversation with the other beings when they got close enough, and they'd get scared and they'd back away. And when they got the courage, they could come up. And we tested, and I told them to tell me what they said, and they could tell me what was said. And they were 30 feet away or something. And I'm just having this conversation with these 3 people in my head, but they could hear it, and they're holy people. And the last thing they said was something I was supposed to do and this and that. I was like, okay, now that I know y'all heard what the last thing they told me. What do you think they meant by that? They got mad. You know what they meant? They got mad at me, yo. I was like, all right. But it reminds me of your story. That's so similar, man.
But you could hear them talking, huh? In your head.
They could hear me. I can hear them, but I always do it as 3 beings. One's a female, incredible energy, and 2 males. And one of the males, he likes to start stuff. And that's just kind of his job. Like the other 2 is like, Joe, you're a really nice person, peaceful. You don't know some of the things you're gonna achieve, and you're on your way, and this, that, like he ain't that special. And because I'm who I am, I'd say, fuck you, nigga. And I would end up in hell. As soon as I said, I didn't know I hadn't read Bibles and stuff at this time. I was younger, early 20s or something. And I was burning. My flesh was sloughing off, and I was dying in the flame. And at the last moment, when I thought my existence couldn't handle no more, I say, Jesus, help me. And I was whisked back in front of them. But then I used to do it a lot too.
The sense of the lion eating the gazelle, when you said you were burning, I see a little parallel right there in a way, and then like you kind of just surrendered to it, huh?
Yes, I think he had to.
Help.
I was wondering that too. He probably did the same thing. If he'd have freaked out, it'd been what they call a bad trip, but he didn't. He pulled back and relaxed.
I think that makes the worst trip when people hold on to stuff. This is why I probably don't do them so much, because I'm a control freak.
If you panic, right, you'll feel all the teeth, all the bites, all the pain,
right?
Stuff. If you you have to relax and let go.
Right. It's over with.
Because at that point, done. Might as well like transition gracefully.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks,
You've
Kevin,
been
for the memberships. Very generous, 5 memberships.
you've been
Appreciate you.
shut it down, man. I'm I don't know, maybe fix me a sandwich and get my YouTube night started. I don't think I'm an editor or anything. I've been filming all day. It's been cool.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
let
out.
you
You're
say
not gonna
good.
go out, probably, huh? Wait, it's the
No,
morning for you.
I'm not going. No, it's still night. I'm not going out. But I
You're taking
usually
a
go
nap.
out and
That's what it
film at night. I'm not gonna go out and film tonight. But I usually film at night.
Well, we're gonna be back tomorrow. Like,
Yeah, I'll be
I just
back.
been meaning to. I needed to catch up with Ozo. It's been a long time because we have
And,
prolific on our other channel. So many
this
good
is
lives
great.
together.
I'm so glad he did the mushroom shit. If Ozo comes back,
Mhm.
I'd love to continue the conversation with him.
Maybe we do it next Saturday again.
Word.
You down,
Right.
Ozo?
Yeah.
But tomorrow we'll be here. I'm gonna be here on my Italian brain rot, Carlos Castaneda, Alistair Crowley stream.
That sounds interesting.
There'll be a lot of
All
stuff
right.
going on. So
I'll
we'll be here
let you
tomorrow.
say goodbye to your chat. Nice meeting you, man. And NPC, be easy, man.
All right, be easy, OG. Peace. Yeah, that's Joe Cool, man. Yeah,
man. You ain't
shout out
ready.
to Chapter 1 Illuminati.
You ain't ready to take shrooms and see what Alistair Crowley seen.
Yeah. This is the Alistair Crowley pose right here.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath where all the shrooms are, right here. That's the
shroom.
Yeah,
pose. He's like
this
a
one
shroom
right here.
himself.
Into Cal. Mayaland. All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's you are the pyramid. Now, I do. It's just, dude, I've been kind of like not focused in doing that, putting that as a priority, but it's a priority. That'll happen. It's gonna start with the oysters, like you said. That'd be a good family project.
Boy,
Yeah.
Easy money, yo. Easy. Easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Get it started. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I appreciate you. We had a good run tonight. A great run actually. We had Chris Lestrange. Mystery Ozo's been holding it down as our special guest. Family. Yeah. And then Joe Cool, and then I was Joe Cool, and then the whole night the chat's been with us. Wiccan and Lady Luck and Philip, Marathon Kev in the building. You gotta come up here pretty soon when you have a chance, Kev. I'll probably hit you on IG this weekend. Lizard Tree, and then they're all seeing Guy with his great horse and carriage stories. Yeah. Got our Guardian, Markella, everybody, Dennison. Yeah. Hopefully Dennison come up tomorrow. Yes. Caucasian Sasquatch in the building. Yes, Ozo, there's someone in our community named Caucasian Sasquatch.
That's dope.
Yeah. Looking all the family. Like I said, Wiccan, Lady Luck, everybody. Shout out to Mel Pandora, Ragamuffin, Aheems of the Oracle, everybody. Right? Chicken Snake, Sean with the first person. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna try it down. We're gonna do some Above the Rim, Sweet Sable soundtrack. Remember, for all time's sake. He's gonna say Heineken, but not in the way Justin said it. So yeah, man, you want to welcome to pimp on by tomorrow, man. Tomorrow and go live. All right, 9 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you coming through, Ozo.
Word, no doubt, man. Not a problem.
Yeah. All right, big dog.
All right, man. Be
This
safe
has
out
been
there.
absolutely.
Hopefully, I'll come
This has
back
been
a new trip report soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need that with the tinctures and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been a psychedelic Netflix special featuring Mystery Ozo.
Word.
And yeah, be good to each other, like I always say. NPC the game, live, out. See you tomorrow. Love you guys.